Yo, is this thing on? Good morning, and happy New Year to everybody. We made it past a year of Armageddon. It really did seem like literally we was living in a Stephen King novel for the past 12 months. And we are one day into the new year, and it already feels more fresh, don't it? Just feel like the flowers smell better, feel like the air smell cleaner, food tastes better. Just everything is just feeling all lovely, including some of the things we got to look forward to that we're going to discuss today. I'm your boy, the real Vince Talor, and I bring with me my fam, the bull. It's the real one, the Ty Briks. I got my man, Yas. I got Mati. I got a whole bunch of other folks with me, and we're here to discuss all things Blerd, because as you know, as we posted, Blerd, it ain't nothing but black equals nerd. Plus nerd equals nerd. I don't know exactly what's going on. This is what happened when you joined the broadcast and they had your full cup of coffee yet. You know what? Let me just shut up and let's go ahead and get this thing going. Good morning. I bring with me today, as always, the homie Ty Briks out of Jersey, currently staying in South Khaki. What's popping, Ty?
Hey, putting my location out there?
3 Main Street. You know, I mean,
what up?
It's Ty, and of course, we have the lovely Yas the Model joining us as well. How's it going, Yas?
Hey guys, how you doing, Ty? Watch out, nigga. They're gonna be watching your IP address and hack your shit soon.
You feel me? Thank you, Vinny. Thank you for that.
All right, whatever, man, whatever. And of course, you know I'm here. It is your boy, the real Vince Talor. And we're gonna go ahead and do this thing live. There's a lot of stuff happening right now, and I can't wait to talk about it. But before we start talking, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little thrown off. Because first of all, Ty hit me and said he was gonna be late. And that kind of messed me up a little bit, you know what I mean? So we started off the year already on CP time, which is kind of like a whole thing, you know what I mean? But what really messed me up is we were sitting here with the lovely Mati. If you don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and bring Miss Mati in here. And Mati asked me a question. I was singing, Ty, you will have respect for this. I was singing, the sun will come out tomorrow, bet your bottom down. And then Mati was like, which one do you like better? The musical, she said the new one or the old one? And I was like, what is she talking about? I was like, oh my God.
You didn't know that, huh?
Little Orphan Annie. I was like, Mom, I don't think I've actually ever watched. She's like, oh my God. And then it was revealed, Ty, that I, for whatever reason it may be, because I'm conditioned, just ain't really into musicals. And then I started talking about how you recommended Jingle Jangle. And I tried to sit down and watch Jingle Jangle, and as much as I was interested in the storyline, it was good to see a sea of black characters for a Christmas movie. They started singing and stuff, bro. And just like, I don't know if I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I been misconditioned or if I'm just being too duty. But good morning. I couldn't do it. What you think, Ty? I mean, you think you was able to watch Jingle Jangle?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite version of Annie?
Well, I have not watched the new version of Annie with an E. But I'm not too much into musicals either. Jingle Jangle I watched because it was, I'm just gonna be perfectly honest, it was a black musical. And I associate black musicals with musicals like Oz. Like, the Wizard of Oz, the Oz, the Diana Ross version, stuff like that. So when I saw Jingle Jangle and not seeing a black music, well, I should probably stop saying that, but a musical that with the same type of representation as Oz was,
right.
I was interested, and when I watched it, I was pleasantly surprised. It was actually good. I'm sorry that you couldn't sit through the whole.
Did you watch Hamilton?
Yeah, and I haven't finished Hamilton. Hamilton, for me, got a little bit redundant. Like it got like it after watching it for a while, I was
I
like,
agree.
It was on beat. That thing was hopping.
It was
I've seen it
on
about
beat.
5 times.
It was on beat, but the problem is rap and doing a musical don't go hand in hand. They don't. They like
correct, Mom. That's why I couldn't get into that.
I think if you did a musical and you had rap instances in the musical where, like, you know, there was a certain time limit where they rapped or whatever, and that was part of the musical, cool. Right. But when you make the entire musical about, rapping, it's a historical, like it just got kind of like, after a while, I was just like, all right, I'm over this. Let me go listen to some
I'm not hardcore rap.
Yeah.
So for me, it was perfect. It had the rap, it had the musical, it had, you know, the history. So if they did a really good fusion of it, I was floored. I couldn't stop watching it. I watched it at least 2 to 3 times. I think by now, I got about 5 under my belt, but in the same night, I think I watched like 3 times.
Your mom has she probably has a full Lego model of the Hamilton cat.
Hamilton cat.
I know mom.
No, not yet.
Mom is straight out of NY.
I was gonna work on this.
Oh my God, here she go. Yo, listen, mom is all right. Phenomenal. Listen, I know you from NY, mom. I know you want, you know, that, you know, the Broadway thing is a thing. You probably grew up wanting to touch cashmere and walking past. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I get it, but a dude from St. Louis, when there used to be the thing called the Keel, and, you know, we don't really, you know, Sesame Street, sure. The letter people, absolutely. But you lose me at Little Orphan Annie. But I tell you what, we got to keep going, guys. I hate to do it, but I got to go ahead and pull rank. We got to get into our subjects that are on the docket. So let me go ahead and go up in here real quick for a second. Oh, that's not for you. That was an accident, even though look at your lovely apartment or house and all of that. All righty, guys. So check it out. Today, I wanted to start off talking about what everybody in the Blerd universe seems to have been talking about, at least over the course of last weekend. If you haven't seen it already, of course, you know I am already discussing, because we did touch it last week, but we didn't go deep into it. We, of course, are talking about Wonder Woman 1984. Now, we did touch on the subject last week, but we didn't want to do any spoilers because spoiling is going to basically mess up the whole movie. Now, I gave my opinion of the movie last week. We know the movie stars, obviously, Gail Gadot, Pedro Pascal, Kristen Wiig, and even Chris Pine. And for whatever reason, after watching this movie, I didn't feel that I had been slapped in the face, disrespected, completely done wrong. But when I started looking at the internet, I started realizing, oh my God, I didn't realize it, but this movie was straight trash, you know, for whatever reason. Now, here's a little taste, if you have not seen it yet, which I'm assuming you're living under a rock, of what we had to look for with Wonder Woman.
This world is not yet ready for all that you will do. Your time will come, Diana. And everything will be different.
Now, Wonder Woman was not getting great reviews. As dope as that trailer was, that's pretty much as dope as it gets. You ever go to the movie and you look at the movie and you're like, yo, all the dope parts were in the previews. That's why I don't watch previews, by the way. But they are killing it online. 6 out of 10 people on Rotten Tomatoes are like, yo, this movie is hot trash. 5.6, not even a full person on IMDb. It's like, nah, we ain't with that. I don't even know how it got 8 out of 10 on IGN. Probably because those kids that were watching it were daydreaming about Fortnite. But it just got destroyed. Look at this. One of the worst superhero films out there. Made no sense. The plot was shambles. And the acting, shambles as well. My man Dave 05 says this movie this movie epitomizes 2020 perfectly. A disaster of a movie for a disaster of a year. Within the first 15 minutes, you know this movie is going to be ridiculous. It's almost a parody of superhero movies. Man, it says, how can the first Wonder Woman have been so good and this one's so horrible? I can actually attest that is how I felt. What are we? What are we? 2 hours and 30 minutes. I mean, it just was destroyed. Look, they were even saying that it made Justice League and Suicide Squad look Oscar worthy. It says I had low expectations for DC movies, which I could agree with, but some have delightfully surprised me. This falls flat on its face after the first 15 to 20 minutes. It never gets up or even tries. Felt rushed through the production, definitely not watched in speed. It was boring. But my favorite critique of all was when my man Matt Fernandez out of Tampa says, my favorite part of Wonder Woman 1984 was when the villain is like, oh shit, that's right, I have a kid. Here to discuss with me, we're going to go ahead and bring in the faithful four. We've got the homie Ty, and we've got Yas, we've got Mati. Yo, y'all tell me, please, am I missing something? Was the movie that bad?
All right, so I saw it last night.
Okay.
I felt it was better than the first one because the first one I couldn't get into it, and I dressed up like Wonder Woman for Comic-Con. Or for Halloween, should I say. That was a funny part when he did said, oh yeah, I got a kid. The beginning, I agree, was where it was up there. It was just now reading all those comments, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Well, yeah,
I agree with a lot of it.
Ty, would you say, Ty, when I first talked about it with you was thoroughly disappointed off rip. And I was trying to argue with you that I don't think it's as bad as you saying it is. What's the real deal, bro? I go to you for the real opinion.
I think it was too much CGI. I think they got too crazy with the CGI. The stuff just it didn't look believable. It didn't look, I mean, you know, we already know it's fantastical, but at the same time, when you get ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? Like there was scenes where she was running and her legs were moving like super fast. Like at this era, and this, I mean, we've seen DC do a Flash series on CW, and you know, he looks, I mean, it looks like the Flash. It looks like he's moving, you know what I mean? It looks like something you could believe. But this stuff, the CGI, the jumping through even when she was flying through the air, it was just like it just looked so fake and so like they saturated with CGI that I just really for me it was just so unbelievable that I just was like, yo, come on, really? I mean, I know we're in pandemic. I know that, you know, actors can't, you know, rehearse their lines and rehearse their stuff with other actors like they normally do. But and the fact that we don't have anything else out on TV, but DC, come on, man, this was y'all's chance to really, like, you know, make some headway to Marvel, and you guys just dropped the bag. They dropped the bag.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, would you agree? Because I think that maybe what we may now be realizing is that Wonder Woman was not the savior of DC like we thought it was. What we're realizing now is that it was lightning in a bottle. It may have been a one-off. DC messed around, got lucky because didn't nobody have nothing to compete with Wonder Woman. It may have been the right movie for the right time. But as it right now stands, it looks like DC is doing DC shit once again.
I don't know.
They're messing with franchises.
Well, when it comes to movies, no matter what, DC has always definitely slacked, you know, when it comes to just like the quality of the actual movie. Like, you know, if you're like, we're going back on Justice League, that movie had so much potential. And when we watched it, we're like, that was it. Like that was the movie. It's just, you know, there's so much that they could have done. And like, you know, like you pointed out, The Flash, the TV show, like they made that look so real. Like you were so like, oh my God, how did they come up with that whole concept? And they couldn't even like reuse the same production team to like get that part done. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I don't know. There's just a lot of, I don't know. It's just, I'm not excited when a new DC movie comes out, to be honest with you. I'm just like waiting to hear, you know, all the critics just, you know, just destroy it, because that's the best part of it for me. I honestly would say. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I love when everyone starts trash talking DC. It's like, man, y'all make a lot of money for nothing. It's great. You're like the weather people of the TV industry. It's great.
Yo, well, I didn't, Ty, why is it that I did not have the level of hatred for this movie that everybody else did. Now don't get me wrong, plot holes galore. All right, like we still don't know who the hell was dropping the kid off at the office for the dude unsupervised. Like they were like, "Yo, your kid's upstairs." Like, "Oh, for real?" You know what I'm saying? And the kid, whether it's drop him off, no iPad. I mean, I know it's 1984, but damn, you know what I'm saying? And then the dude wishes himself. He basically does the. I mean, all right. By the way, full disclosure, guys. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! It's been a week or so. Spoilers are coming. I didn't put the graphic together for the spoilers yet, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about the movie. If you ain't seen it yet, go ahead and ask your grandma or your roommate or whatever for the HBO Max login, and go ahead and get acquainted, or go ahead and stop it now because we're gonna go ahead and talk about it since everybody don't like it anyway. The dude wishes he does the equivalent of wishing for unlimited wishes, but he can't get them through himself, right? So he has to have people wish for him, which I thought wasn't the worst idea. I also still am going to stick by my love and adoration for my milk of magnesia for that white woman behind you, Kristen Wiig. I still think she did a good job of being that ditzy character who came out of nowhere and ended up being a pretty integral part of the. Now, as you know, Ty, I don't watch previews. I don't watch previews because I don't want to mess up the show for me, the movie. But I don't know what it is, but I think that there were good parts, and then there were parts that were just not as good. But trash, I didn't see the trash part. I feel like this may be an instance where folks is bandwagoning. I might be alone, but maybe y'all can talk me down. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an anomaly here. What you think?
I think as far as like the trash, again, like anytime we talk about movies and TV shows and stuff like that right now, presently, you always have to, preface it by saying pandemic, because during the pandemic, we have more time to critique. So more time to critique means more detail, more thorough, more anal. So like it's like people are like this. We don't have nothing but time on our hands. We don't have no movies come out. We got super excited on Christmas Day, like this is what we asked Santa Claus for, and we opened up the present, and it wasn't shit in there. And that's kind of like that's how a lot of people are feeling. Like, damn, like yo, you got me all excited. I was like, this was the only thing. Like on Christmas Day, all I wanted was Wonder Woman. Yeah, and you gave me because I'm not gonna stop. I still feel like she's on that anorexic plan. She need to eat a couple of meals. I'm not saying you don't look great, boo, but you need to. That shit ain't healthy.
She wasn't doing nothing but exercise. Some people were eating. She was getting fit. That was what was happening during. She was on the opposite of the coronavirus.
She way on the opposite. She way on the opposite. She leaning more to like skeletal. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm telling you, like, I love me some Gal Gadot. I think she's gorgeous, but like, yo, man, like. I need a little more thigh meat. I need just a little bit of thigh meat.
I thought that I really liked the Invisible Jet. All right, I really love the fact that they threw it in and didn't make it a big deal. I like them showing her swinging from the lightning. From the lightning, I thought this part right here was dope. I thought it was dope when she was flying a little bit, even though I still don't think she flew in the comic book. So that's a nuanced thing. I did think it was a little corny how she did make the ship itself invisible. I don't know if that. Now I didn't read. Full disclosure, I did not actually read the Wonder Woman comic. I watched the show when I was a kid. And I watched her on Super Friends on the shows, but I never actually opened up the comic book itself and read the comic. So I don't know how true to the storyline this movie was. But
she does fly in the animated series. She does fly.
Like on Disney Plus. Yeah.
Yeah, she does fly in the animated versions. So maybe not the comic book. But let's be honest, man. Like, I mean, like I'm always gonna keep it 100. Nobody read Wonder Woman comic book. Like nobody. Like little girl. Like you gotta understand something. That was supposed to be like the role model for little girls. but everybody didn't have a mom like Yas.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Which means they were playing with Barbies and wasn't thinking about no comic books. They wasn't thinking about that. And the boys wasn't going to pick up a Wonder Woman comic book because it wasn't
right.
You know, like what we, you know, as little boys, if we gonna read a book about girls, then it gotta have, you know, excuse my French, ladies, but some titties. It's gonna have to have it's gonna have to have some titties in it. If you want little boy. Listen, my mother, y'all met my mother, but didn't meet my mother because she didn't want to be on camera. But my mother, I remember my mom brought me my first Penthouse magazine. She brought it to me and just gave it to me. And I was like, what?
Too, right?
I was like, what? And she was like, boy, don't act like this the first one you seen. I was under your bed. And I was like, what? I was like, like, what are you talking? What's under my bed, man? Like, you know, I was that kid. I was that kid. So she got me the first Penthouse. Boy? Huh?
You were a typical boy. That's
I was definitely I might have been a little bit extreme too. I was a little perverted, but at the same
perverted at that age.
Nah, I was a little extra, man. But we ain't gonna get into all of that.
Man. I could tell you some extra stories about my brother that will have your ass shocked. If you really want to go there.
All right. That sounds like a Dr. Phil expose, but
my Barbies, putting little dots for pubes on the Barbies, you know, so they look
yeah. You know what?
Yeah,
this is new Blerd Order, not new porn order.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like y'all got it. It's like I didn't turn this into a whole Playboy channel session.
Yeah.
Nah, it's cool. But yo, you're right though. You're right. Most of us didn't read the comic because you're right. I mean, it wasn't really necessarily masculine. Who was really seeking out the Wonder Woman storyline? I didn't learn that her name was Diana Prince until the movie came out. Frankly, I didn't.
Now that's unfortunate. You didn't even watch. Now I didn't read the comic book, but you did. You didn't watch the TV show.
Okay, Linda Carter.
Well, yeah, Linda Carter, but. Her name was Diana Prince.
Can I make a joke? Is it too early in the year for me to make a joke? God damn, I still do jokes. Shit.
I mean, I don't be knowing, man. You know,
I know. Check it out. But here, hey, yo, Lauren makes a good point in the back room. He says, can we also poke that just Janelle?
Oh yeah, right.
It somehow becomes. Now listen, that's not
funny.
That's a good point, and we'll bring that up with you later, Lauren. But that tends to happen. Let's not forget that also happened with Sasha in The Walking Dead, who died in Walking Dead and then became Michael Burnham in Star Trek Discovery. These things do have a way of having some sort of afterlife in some ways. But I digress. I just wanted the record to state that on the scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably going to give Wonder Woman a 6.5, maybe. I'm not gonna give it a 1 or a 2. I didn't think it was trash. I ain't
saying 1 or 2. I ain't saying a 1 or 2, but I think a 6 is high.
Yeah,
a 6 is high. Yes, absolutely.
I think
if you're honest with yourself, what you saw visually, because in the first Wonder Woman, like, let's be clear, the aesthetics for the first Wonder Woman was dope, super dope. Aries, how they had him looking out, like it was super dope. So the way that they did it this time with the CGI and going ballistic with the CGI and the like I said, those scenes where she's running, like that looks like comical. Like that looks like you're like if you've ever seen the movie Kung Fu Hustle. Kung Fu Hustle, like, when they do the scene where they're running and their feet are moving like super. That's what I saw. I was like, yo, what is this? Did they just steal from Kung Fu Hustle? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, when you think of Marvel's killing it. Marvel's killing it with their special effects and their CGI.
Oh my God.
But for Wonder Woman to have this much time and then to give us that, the Invisible Jet, I feel was dope. It was good to bring that out. The fact that she could fly, I thought that was dope. But I just didn't like the whole way she was flying. Like when Superman first flew in his first thing, did you see him up there talking about? Like, did you see him doing that? Like, this was really what she was doing. She was like, "Oh, do I like it left? Do I like it right?"
Oh my
I don't know. Do I like it like this?
It's Wonder
Angles, bro. Damn.
Yes, tell him it's Wonder Woman, not Wonder Superman. Like, yo,
that's not even the point.
She's working her angles. Damn.
Yeah, man, she's working the angles. Yo, she's getting the
Like that profile, she was like, oh no, that's not good enough. Let's try this way.
Kill him, Yas. They should have put Yas the Model as the new Wonder Woman. So I mean, she's up there killing the poses and all of that. But
just saying, you gotta, she was working her angles. Don't be mad at the woman. Damn, she's working on her future careers. Plural, not singular. Damn.
She's basically saying that she wasn't flying. She went up there by the lightning for better lighting. So she was
like, where's that ring light at? Let me get that shit.
All right.
Like, as long as you can't see it in my eyes, we're good though. Okay, we're good.
Okay. All right, so from the core cast, so I give it a 6 out of 10. Yas, you say you give it a 5?
Yeah, I give it like a 5. That's decent.
What you said, Ty, you give it a 4? Whoa. All right, let's look at Ty.
I'll probably say I'll give it closer to a 5, but I can't give it a 5. I'll say we're gonna do this like Let's Make a Deal or Price is Right. We're gonna go 1 under 5. We're gonna go 1 under 5. 4.9. We'll give it a 4.9.
You just want to solid numbers only, bro. This is not freaking algebra, man. Do you want a 4?
I mean, is it a 4.5?
I mean,
all right. Well, we'll go 4.5 since you want to do it like that. I wanted people to understand that it's not trash, but if you go into it with high expectations, you will be disappointed. Period.
Okay, so he's trying to just warn them, like, it's not as great as the first Wonder Woman, but it got definitely more trash talk after it.
Yeah.
So, okay, I see where you're getting it from.
It looks like Ty, the law of averages, will give that between all of us, that is a 5.1 on the new Blerd Order scale. So not a really good resounding review from the new Blerd Order, I hate to say. But what does get a solid review, for those of y'all who didn't know, let me just go ahead and pull this out for a second, is a movie that a lot of us actually watched over Christmas. Came out the same day as the Wonder Woman movie did, and that is a movie we like to call Soul. A lot of folks saw it. A lot of folks loved it. We're talking about an all-black cast here. Well, almost all-black cast. And hold on. We're going to get into that. And the overwhelming majority of folks did seem to like it. But let's take a glimpse at what Soul had in store for us.
What would you want to be known for on Earth? Have a short time on this planet. You want to become the person that you were born to be? Don't waste your time on all the junk of life. What am I doing? Spend your precious hours doing what will bring out the real you. The brilliant, passionate you that's ready to contribute something meaningful into this world. I got the gig. I really need a haircut today, man. Can you fit me in? Whoa, sorry. What the? Hello? So what do you want to be remembered for?
Probably for doing this funny cowboy dance.
Great.
Now, looks pretty good to me. And I gotta say, I took a look at it and found it fairly enjoyable and amusing. And it was getting some fairly decent reviews as well. Some of the most tagged words used to describe this movie were touching inspiring, heartwarming, a must-watch, thought-provoking, feel good, uplifting. Some folks even said that it was heartwarming and stirring. Soul celebrates each person's individuality and being in the moment. Not everybody loved it as much. Some folks said, hey, listen, while not quite offering the emotional gut punch that it promises, its many ideas never completely coherent. Soul is nevertheless a gorgeous and tender existential trip, and it is full of surprises. Now, everybody didn't love the movie as much as everybody else. Frankly, there were some on the ranks of Black Twitter that had some pretty harsh things to say about our beloved Soul, whether or not it's an all-black cast or not. I happened to run across somebody's timeline in which they said, and I quote, "Good morning. I have a few things to say about Soul. A few things to say as some things I observed about the movie Soul. First and foremost, I'm not a Disney fan, so let's make that caveat. And nope, I did not watch the whole thing, which we'll talk about that in a second as well. And nope, I didn't watch the whole thing because of reasons I'm about to state. So when Milan came out, Disney Plus, as a Disney Plus subscriber, I had to pay $29.99 to watch it. However, Soul came with my subscription. They pulled the same BS they did with Tiana. Jamie Foxx's voice was a blue bob and a cat. The black male character's voice was Tina Fey. Unacceptable. Definitely unacceptable if that was indeed the case. Some would argue that the voice of Joe was the voice of Jamie Foxx the whole way through, and that they just had a body swap. But to further her opinion and enlighten us as to what this mindset involves, I want to welcome the author of that post, Tiki Byrd, right here to the set. How you doing, Miss Ma'am? I'm sorry I'm lagging a little bit. Just bear with me a little bit if you can, okay? I do apologize sometimes. As a matter of fact, just because I like you and I don't want to look silly while we're on here, I'm going to redirect. I'm going to redirect this like this. Bam, bam. And then...
I can't hear you. No.
Alrighty, guys. So here, I'm gonna have to lag a little bit. So don't watch my face. Just listen to my words. I feel like Max Headroom. Anyway, so here's the deal. You actually said that you thought that there were hints of racism subtly dropped within this Soul Pixar movie. Now, you also said that you did end up watching it or tried to watch it later on. Do you still feel the same way? And can you expound a little bit? Drop some of those facts you were dropping on us when you were in the room.
Okay, so first I want to say, because you said something wrong, I am a Disney fan. I am a season ticket holder to the parks, and I probably own almost every Disney movie there is. As far as Soul, my daughter loved it. She thought it was good. I tried to watch it a second time again last night, and it just didn't work for me. So a part of the problem that I have with the movie is there was a few racial things in it for a movie that was supposed to be for the Black culture. One of the things that I was just upset with is within 10 minutes of the movie, he's a blue blob. Like, he literally is walking and falls and wakes up, and he's blue. And he even said, he was like, what the? Because he's just not staying in his whole character. The next thing that I had a problem with was that Tina Fey was his voice. And yes, I do understand that it was a body swap. So she was the voice of 22, and 22 is now in his body. And after trying to watch it again, I understand that the other characters see him or hear him in what would have been Jamie Foxx's voice, but we still hear him as Tina Fey, and that's a problem for me because Jamie Foxx he's the first time being a lead black character as a man in a Disney movie, and his voice is put into a cat for us to hear, a pussycat at that. And that's just got a whole nother like a whole nother meaning for me. But then in an era where we're going through Karen situations where black men are being harassed by white women, we have a white woman's voice taking over the black man character, and I had a problem with that. There could have been other things that they could have done. There could have been Issa Rae for the voice. They could have tried other things. And something that I didn't get to tell you, or we didn't discuss during our conversation, was Disney actually knew that this was going to be a problem. And around this area that you're showing right here, they address it before we get to address it. And that's in the conversation where Joe asked 22, why do you sound like an annoying middle-aged white woman? At what point, why did that even need to be discussed? Why did we bring that up? Why did they address that? Why did they bring it up at all? It's because they knew that later on that was going to be a problem when her voice entered into his body, and we had to accept that we're hearing a white woman speak. And so these were some of the things that I was very annoyed with when it came to the movie Soul. Are you there?
Yo, I'm having some technical difficulties here, so please bear with me a little bit. Evidently, whatever this is that you wished on Disney has wished on my Wi-Fi. Yeah, you done put a curse on me, turning black people into cats, now turning black men's internet into trash. Evidently is what we doing here today. I don't know. Here I go. I'm sorry. Here I go. I'm coming right back in now. I was able to launch that. Hold on, guys. I apologize for this. We will edit this out in post. Let's just say that much. All right, hold on. BM. Watch how I do this like a pro. BM. And I will take myself out like this. And I am officially back. All right, cool. Sorry about that.
Okay, hey, the wonders of live broadcasting, everybody. I can't wait till y'all to do it yourself, and you'll never have to deal with these type of issues. All right, so the weird thing about it is I actually agree with you on some level. As I sit here and try to get myself out of here, I agree with you on some level. I guess where I come head to head with my I guess my inner turmoil is deciding whether or not I'm going to let now I want to hear what you said again about what Disney said was definitely going to be a problem, because you said that they knew it was going to be an issue. My issue, I guess, comes into play is I'm like, all right, look, here's a whole black cast, right? For the most part, not to an extent for the main characters. We can sit here and we can go down the list of characters that we had on the show. But in actuality, I'm like, well, what about everybody that was on the show? Now, I know I also did look at your comments, and we kept going. That wasn't the end of the conversation. I responded, all right, if you recall. I was like, yo, hold on, I hear you. But Jamie Foxx was the voice of the black character. And without spoiling, you know what I'm saying, let's just say they took a Freaky Friday plotline. And that Mulan's box office tragic failure was a lesson that streaming services and studios, which I see, is why you see even those behind big budget movies like Wonder Woman 1984 abandoning that formula. And guess what? Coming to America is next, because they already talked about releasing Coming to America on Amazon Prime. And then you, of course, not to leave me hanging, put me back in my place and say, yeah, I hear you. But if I'm not mistaken, it says, listen, the point that I was making here is that the first lead in the black character is a Disney animated film with Tiana. And of course, we know her from Princess and the Frog. Before our Black Kings, when one is given to us, Jamie Foxx is the voice for all 10 minutes, all 10 minutes in the beginning. The lead character voice is then replaced with a white woman, and he now becomes the voice of a pussycat. You know what I'm saying? It's very Karenish to do that. I don't doubt the story is good. The historical impact is as good as well. I probably will go back and watch it, but last night I could not help but become irritated that our black man's voice was replaced with a woman's voice. And it's true. I mean, she was replaced with a woman's voice. That is indeed the case. Somebody else even came up behind you and was like, yeah, I also didn't like the movie. It had potential, but it was, like you say, basically whitewashed. And I had a little bit of an issue with that because whitewashed, in my definition, is when you take something that was historically black and you take the black out of it and leave it white. But this is a fictitious story. I get the understanding. I get the argument that, look, they took the role of a black woman and gave it to a white woman, but I don't get the whitewashing part. So I did respond to that and say, listen, I don't know if that's really whitewashing. And, I did all that. I don't have to sit there and go down the whole comment thing. But I will say this. The one thing that I was a little in disagreement, I don't want to say disagreement, but I was just trying to think, am I really upset about the one character that did end up being white because she was a main character? If that wasn't the main character, would I have been able to relish in all of the soul that is in this cast? Because as you see, if you take Tina Fey out and you replace Tina Fey with, like you said, Issa Rae, who knows, Tiffany Haddish, something like that, will it then become more palatable for you? Or would you still think that the movie still had racist undertones because you turned them into a blue dot, as you said?
Okay, so I didn't, like I said, I didn't watch the whole movie, so I didn't, because I was just dated. The blue dot may have, still had some relevance. I understand that it had some points. You can't hear me?
I hear you. I hear you fine.
Oh, okay. The other part of it is that he was a lead character, so he's the lead. And I do understand that they fill the movie with other black characters, and that's great, and I appreciate that. But the point was the lead. For the first time, we have a black man who is the lead, and it just kind of reminds me of something that I learned in school. A discussion that we had in school when I was in Spanish class. Our teacher I don't know how we got on the subject of race, but we kind of categorized the hierarchy of people in the United States, and it started with which has more respect and power. And the first, when he put class, the first person that we put was the white man, then the black, then the white woman, and then something happened where we reversed the roles for the African American population. And our class said the black woman ahead of the black man, and that, just for me and how I feel, that should not happen in our culture. Our kings should be kings, and so therefore, first Tiana got a movie, and it goes to show the very thing that we talked about in my Spanish class, that the black woman was put ahead of the black man. So then Jamie Foxx gets the lead role in Joe and Soul, but his voice is taken away. And so, yes, I do appreciate that the rest of the cast is black, and I'm very happy for that. But we always are made to accept whatever is given to us. Be happy for this. Be happy for that. It takes time. It's progression. No. Give our black man his voice. Don't take it and put it in a pussycat. And then don't give his voice, if you're going to take it and do this Freaky Friday thing, don't give it to a white woman during this time that we are still trying to figure out what to do with these Karen situations. So that's my point on that.
Ty?
I mean, I just want to say I've been sitting here listening to Miss Tiki, and I totally agree with you. I totally agree that Hollywood and directors and people have a way of imparting their opinions into everything that they write when it comes down to writing, and when it comes down to directing, and when it comes down to the powers that be behind all of the scenes. Disney has been known for a long time to be on that line of doing suspect stuff when you go back and you look at their the artwork or the way that they depict characters or different stuff like that. So it's not like this is something that's new to what Disney's way of doing things is. The way that you put it is so beautiful, because you're right. To take him out of his body is one thing, but to then take, as they brought attention to, a middle-aged white woman and then put him in his body, and then we hear her voice for the rest of the movie as him, even though we know that he is him, and 22 is her. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at it from a deeper perspective, like you are, you would address those things, because it doesn't make sense when you have a predominantly black cast, and then all of a sudden, you know, for the two main stars of the movie, you decide that, okay, the only way this is going to work is if we have an actress like Tina Fey. Okay, number one, Tina Fey is not no top actress. She's a top personality, but actress-wise, she's not a top actress and everything like that. So you could have found, you got Felicia Rashad. So I know you could have found somebody else to go and put inside of Joe's body if it was all about a female cohort or co-star. So yeah, I do agree with you that you make a very valid point. And for anybody out there, like, you don't have to necessarily agree with what Tiki is saying, but you do have to question the method or the reasoning behind why someone would do that when you already have a pretty much predominantly black cast. I mean, what was it like? Okay, if we don't put a white woman, we gonna have white people rioting about there not being a white representation in the film. No, you wouldn't. That's never ever happened. Like,
well, I mean, look, I will say just at the outset, Ty. First of all, I'm glad that we didn't, because I think Tiki thought she was walking into a born storm of hatred. I think she thought she was walking into a bee's hive, when in actuality she's working with allies. Now, some may not agree, but I think that you have some truth that should be put on display here. Because let's just be honest, you're right. Within the first few minutes, we were looking at this as these two dudes switch parts, and it is kind of Disney's thing to just give the role of their lead black character and to switch them with somebody that's a freaking animal. You know what I'm saying? So this is not like this is something that doesn't happen. I mean,
it's not even just an animal, bro. I don't even mean to cut you off. It's not just Tiki's looking real deep, and this is why I said I love that she's on here, because this is how I think. It's not just the animal. It's the type of animals. Docile. You know what I'm saying? Docile creatures, the creatures that you don't look at as aggressive or threatening, or you know what I'm saying? You're belittling black men. You're trying to bring down their masculinity, and it's, I mean, I could go on and get real crazy and talk about, but ultimately that's why she made a point of saying it's not just what they put him in. I mean, where they put him, it's what they put him in. They put him in a pussy cat.
A pussy cat.
Hey, and he ain't the only pussycat that been put there. I mean, listen, there's been a couple other pussycats. You know what I'm saying? That they have.
Why does Donald Glover look like him for real? Like, why does that really look like Donald Glover? Like, that's really crazy. That
he was not the only one.
So Vince, I do have a question for you though, because you did kind of like say, it wasn't, you didn't feel as deeply for it as I did. So the one question I would have for you is, why do you think Disney allowed Joe to ask 22, why do you sound like a middle-aged white woman? Why, if everything was about souls and nobody had ever mentioned race, because actually them to even mention race was weird in a cartoon. So why did they bring up race? What do you think the reason for that was?
Well, I definitely see your point. I think that has a place, and I think that for folks like us who tend to analyze and look deeper within the lines, then there's multiple layers to that statement, right? Like at one state of it, the outwardly most obvious one is to admit that this is obviously a middle-aged white woman. Okay, that could be for multiple reasons. To appease the white crowd that needs to know that they have not been left behind in this cast. Possibly one of them. All right, straight up. It could be also to because they're acknowledging the fact that there are people that are watching the movie that know that it's Liz Lemon whose voice it is. You know what I'm saying? And they just want to go ahead and get that out. And then there's the comedian side of me who's like, well, as a comic, I can see the satire in that, the irony of saying you sound like a middle-aged white woman, because we know damn well behind the microphone in a booth somewhere, there's a middle-aged white woman there. So layers-wise, now my thing is I tend to look at all paths, consider all of them, and then whichever one gravitates towards me the most, that's where my feeling is. In this particular series, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm still torn between, I dig the movie, I love it. It was a well-produced production. I like the fact that Felicia Rashad, like the fact that Angela Bassett, like the fact Questlove, like the fact that they spotlighted Jazz, love the barbershop scenes, love the fact that they gave him plentiful blush lips and did not make him a very, very light skin, even though he could have been darker. All right, let's talk about that as well. But I also am not going to completely disavow the fact that there was a consideration at a board at some point that decided this character, one of the main characters, second in the, if you look, I showed you all the cast list. Now let's take in mind, this isn't just the cast list. You know that there's a such thing as a casting call, right? And there's like the actual number that you appear on the credits. It almost could tell you how much it is you get paid. So when we look at this screen and we see Jamie Foxx and then Tina Fey, then we know that those are the two most important, the two highest paid members of the cast. So it's not like completely unheard of that they had to mitigate the overwhelming blackness that is the cast, that is everybody else, with a supporting character that was a member of the lack of melanin crowd. So I'm not.
They didn't need to mitigate it. They didn't mitigate on our behalf for Snow White. They didn't mitigate on our behalf for Cinderella. So why did they need to mitigate? Who did they need to please, and why did they need to please anyone outside of the black culture in our film? There was no need to. So I understand your point, and I won't say that it doesn't matter, but I'm saying that it doesn't really matter because it's our movie. I don't care about how anybody else feels because nobody asked us how we felt when Jasmine was flying on the carpet, when Sleeping Beauty was sleeping, when Snow White was eating an apple. Nobody asked us how we felt. And were we okay that our image was not in any of those movies? So we have to, and furthermore, Disney did exactly what they needed to do in you. You are okay, and that's all they needed to. That's what they needed, in is for you to be okay.
Yo, you right. Your young lady. There was a comment in your on your comment on your page, which the lady said, "Listen. How are we going to sit here and ask or beg from a white company founded by a racist white man originally, who originally would only depict us in the manner that they did in the Yo Mammy days, in a more minstrel type of fashion, and ask them for gratification and giving us what we want? Same way a lot of us do for the Grammys and for the Oscars. Like, y'all don't give us our shine instead of creating our own and then staying in our own path. I guess we have to figure out, is there a lane for us in black animated cinema that we can create for ourselves, or do we have to lean on the Pixars? And if we do lean on the Pixars and Disneys, do we need to push this issue more so that we can make sure we don't keep finding ourselves fighting for an all-black cast, a Wakandan type cast, as opposed to dealing with one where we have to share the screen with somebody who may or may not have our best interest at heart? I don't know. Ty, do you think we just should have our own black Nixar? Should we, Blixar? Is I mean, how do we mitigate? How do we prevent this from happening?
I'm just thinking about how to word this. Are we in a position now to do something like that? Yes. Do we have a Tyler Perry who owns his own studios? Yes. So at this point, we could do it. I just feel like if it's been done, it's not like it hasn't been done. What was it? Robert Townsend? He was making all black films for a long time. And nobody was tripping because a lot of them was trash. But I mean, he was doing it when nobody else was, and nobody was tripping. So, will you be able to get Disney to do it and co-sign on it? Probably not, clearly. But could, say, a Master P or who's buying up everything and trying to be, could he go ahead and do get his own new studios with Tyler Perry and create something like this? Yes, absolutely. So hopefully they hear this podcast and they, what I'm saying, and they realize that it's time to make a move like that, because yes, it was a little bit disrespectful to have an opportunity to have, during this time when there's nothing on, when you have an opportunity to really set yourself apart and make a name for yourself. It's messed up when politics get involved, and I'm not saying Tina Fey is a bad person, because I like Tina Fey as a person. I think she's an excellent personality and very, very funny woman. I just think that if you were gonna go all the way through, and then at some point somebody told you and said, well, look, I dig what you're doing, I dig the whole concept, but just what if we just add Tina Fey? Then I would be like, well, why? And they'd be like, I don't know, it just seems right. Like, so, and that's it.
Sounds about white. My man Tyrone said he has something to say. Now, Tyrone is a fellow comedian. He's also in this stuff. He's going to contribute a little later with some of our Marvel stuff, but he had something to say about it. Now, Ty, as a person of multiple races, some of which are yet to be determined, we're definitely wondering, what's your opinion on this, homeboy? Like, what do you feel? Do you think that do you support any of the views that have been stated here?
Yeah, I think the conversation is great. First of all, the way I was thinking about it while you were talking about it was, there is definitely a problem in the whole of cinema where there isn't enough representation. I think that's a lot of what has guided this conversation so far. I don't think the problem is this movie's problem, though. When I watched Soul, I felt like my blackness actually felt good, and that, I'm not joking there. I'm actually mixed, even though it's hard to tell. But I felt like my blackness felt good. I was like, man, they really care, and they really they were showing it in a way that it has never been seen before in animation. Like, you look at the way they actually took care with how they portrayed hair. You know what I mean? They had the barbershop scene where you had different types of hair. You had different types of personalities and stuff. And it wasn't that they were, for me, it wasn't that they were even pandering to black folks. It was that they were like, hey, look, here's something that we're celebrating. I see the argument about why Tina Fey, why does it have to be her? Why can't it be, a black actress like Issa Rae, somebody in that kind of demographic? And that's a valid argument. I like the way how Tiki said our movie. Like, why does it have to be her in our movie? And I hear you on that. However, from a story standpoint, from an actor standpoint, I think Tina Fey did a great job. I think they did a good job addressing it. You talked about how they had the conversation early on when he was like, "Why do you sound like an annoying middle-aged white woman?" Well, his life experience, he probably ran into a lot of annoying middle-aged white women, in his actual life. Whereas race hadn't, up in her experience, she's like, I just know what I've seen of Earth, but I'm just a soul sitting here waiting for my body or whatever. So story wise, I think there are some things that in the story make sense. They're done well. They're done with care. They're portrayed well. But the bigger problem outside of the movie, with the lack of representation, highlights these little instances of their souls switching into different bodies. I chose to actually see that as her having an experience like a walk in my shoes kind of thing, walk a mile in my shoes. And if we had more people, doing that, walking in the shoes of somebody who's different, they might be able to gain perspective that they might not have otherwise had. She was able to see so much joy in the world, and so much love and so much passion through the eyes of this Black body. And for me, that was the way I looked at it. And I'm an optimist, so I'll go ahead and own that right off the bat. But I'm an optimist. But for me, it was actually kind of beautiful. And I while I understand a lot of the arguments towards the whitewashing and stuff like that, and I don't invalidate them, I actually saw it as a very positive thing.
Well, Ty,
You can get him first. So you said that that 22 was able to see life through Joe's eyes, right? That's what you said. So then again, it makes it about 22 and not about Joe. So now we're teaching the white woman about life through the eyes of a Black person, when in all actuality, this movie should have been about Joe. So I do appreciate your comment about, seeing life through the eyes of somebody else. However, the movie was not about 22, or was it?
So your issue is with the story, more so than like the way the story is presented, more so than the fact that that it's replacing. Because, I do understand that you haven't seen the whole thing yet. So there were instances that you may not have gotten to experience that I got to experience, and that I really enjoyed in the movie. But yeah, and that's fair. I think if your argument is, I don't think this story element served us as Black people and served the Black community well, because it took this man's soul out of his body. Then that's a story element that kind of knocked it off the rails for you. And there's nothing that's going to bring that back. No matter how long you watch the movie, you could watch the movie and then rewatch the movie, and you'll never get back to that. You know what I mean? Because you have that, you have that experience that took you out of that. Completely understand that, because literally that man's soul got removed from his body and replaced with another soul. And that's, and I know how deeply people feel for this movie on both sides of it. So yeah, so I get that.
Also, again, I didn't see the movie. It was all the way through because I just got annoyed. But I saw that you the clip where is slapping Joe like multiple times. What was that about? Like, why do we even have that? I mean, I don't know what the situation was, and so it could have been something very meaningful for a woman to be slapping a man. But if you could expound on, if anybody can tell me what that scene was about, why do we even have that?
Yeah, I'm happy to. And I think, and I do want to point out, I think that's where so many of the real issues outside of the movie come into play. And we see it through that prism. So, when you see that character slapping like when you see Tina Fey's character slapping Jamie Foxx's character, you're like, damn, I don't like that. You know what I mean? But in the context of the story, he had discovered that he can't taste or smell anything. And she was like, oh, also you can't feel anything either. There's no pain. And so she slapped him around to demonstrate that. And it was like this. So he was like, all right, that's enough. And then moved on. So it was like a little bit of a sight gag, as a comedian that, we can appreciate or whatever. But, I think what the most important thing is here is like when you watch that and you felt that, like, that's from your whole lifetime of not being represented in movies. You know what I mean? So like you feel that as you watch, and that's a problem that is trying to be fixed. And it's going slowly, and sometimes people are taking the wrong angles at it. You know what I mean? But you're right, and I feel like that's when we feel like, when I hear you talking about it, I'm like, damn, like this has been a long time. Where she's like, why can't I get something? You know what I mean? Like, why can't I get a part in this movie? Like, why can't I get a character in this movie? I feel that. I just think that this movie was actually one of the better movies for it, in my opinion. And that's, you know, that's just how I kind of got there and stuff.
Okay.
But I love it. I love the conversation. I love the passion around it. We can't hear you, Vince.
Yo, his audio is crazy.
Now, I expected when Vince started talking to hear Tina Fey's voice, and
the animation, though,
I was thrown by that.
He's so animated, like even in silence, you can tell how animated he is. Look at him. Look at him.
Cannot hear you at all.
At all, none.
Yeah. Why do you sound like an annoying middle-aged white woman, Vince?
All right. You can hear me now, right? You can
There
hear
he
me?
is. There he is.
All right. Well, I mean, first of all, yo, listen, Tyrone, I respect your boldness. Clearly, the black part of you came out when you tried to go up against Tiki, because Tiki was like, "Yo, bro, I don't know who the fuck you think you is, but let me steal you, white boy." But now, she definitely has the point that we may have missed because of the infrequency of which we see a movie of this type. So the fact that it is a topic of discussion, it leads to these conversations. If we had more movies like this, then we wouldn't probably be so, upset about the thing happening. But when we get it, we're like, you have a missed opportunity there. You know what I'm saying? And what Tiki's basically saying is like, yo, look, bruh, you didn't have to do that. And she's like, you ever go to like a doctor, you know what I'm saying? And there's like a small pain, but it's not a big deal. You're like, it hurts a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? No big deal. But then your doctor observes a little more. It's like, yo, wait a minute. Nah, this is a lump. We need to look into this. What she's basically saying is like, yo, look, don't look past that. You know what I'm saying? Don't think, yeah, it's cool, no big deal. We winning. Look, it's a movie with black people in it. She's like, yeah, but what about this? What about that? Well, don't worry about that. We'll fix it later. Like, no, why we ain't fix it now? And it's because of mentalities like that we are now able to go to the same water fountains. Because now that we are able to go to the same schools, now that we do have HBCUs, now that we did elect presidents and vice presidents and this, that, and the third. So I salute you. Now, I still think it was a good movie. I'm sorry. It was a good movie. It was a good movie. I'm sorry. I like the movie.
My daughter loved it.
It was a good movie, all right? But the issues that lie within cannot be denied. And I just want to thank Tiki for bringing that to the forefront. Tiki, yo, you brave soul. I know she thought she was coming into a nest of vipers. But nah, man, we had to hold it down. And thank you for your contribution. I know you got somewhere to go, but I hope you can sit tight for a little bit because we had a couple other things that we wanted to discuss. So I'm going to put you to the background for a second, but I know you have only a few more minutes. So hopefully we'll get you here for a little bit. One time for the home. Yo, hold up, man. First of all, is this what it looks like? Hold on one second, guys. It looks like somebody on this panel may have fallen asleep. Is that right? That right? Hold on a second. Hold on. Shh. Is this what it? Oh. Yo, bro, I thought you were asleep, yo. I was like, yo, we about to sit there and watch Lord for like the next 15 minutes. Hilarious. Now, yo, I know we boring, but we ain't that bad. All right, hold on, guys. Thanks for dealing with the whole camera situation. I'm gonna go ahead and bring back the homie Yas. Thank you so much again, Tiki. Don't go too far, and just bear with me as I get through these little these issues with the cam. Ty, I bet you weren't expecting to hear that.
Nah, that was dope. That was super dope to hear Tiki's perspective, man. Like when I was sitting there listening to it, in the background, I was just like, yo, this is the type of stuff that a lot of people don't pick up on. So that's why it's so frequently done. Because they're like people are stupid. They not gonna pick up on it. Yeah, make her the co-star. Who cares that they want an all-black cast? Yeah, she's Tina Fey. Like, who the fuck is Tina Fey? Oh, she's funny as shit. Okay, well, all right. Cause it's like nobody's knocking Tina Fey. We love Tina Fey. It's the fact that I'm like soup that I got I got a Robert Townsend. That's what I'm gonna call it. I got a Robert Townsend. You know what I'm saying? And then you like, well, no, you don't, because this is my nephew Earl, and you gonna put Earl in the movie, and he ain't gonna be in the background. You gonna put him in the front part, or there's not gonna be no movie. And that's how I feel like it like that's what how I feel like Disney like really imposed their will on a creation. Like, okay, yeah, it's gonna be dope, but only if you put Tina Fey or you put whoever, but not. There was so many other actresses that you could have picked, man, in this era, man. There's so many.
You're right, Ty. And Tiki had some great points as well. I completely 100% agree with her. She saw the foreshadowing in the movie that they were like not, openly present about, but they were still like, there was context clues for sure. And I love that she picked up on that. But I feel like the reason why they put Tina Fey in this movie is because, like, if you think about it, 2020 was the year of constant Black-only movies, was it not? So, like, if you think about, like that came out, like, Jingle Jangle was, you know what I'm saying, was the Christmas movie. It was a Black-only cast, you know what I'm saying? Like there was just, like, so many different stuff that came out that were, like, focused on, like, Black cast.
But it wasn't a Black-only cast.
But that's what I'm saying, though. I think so, because of, Disney with its controversy of being racist, you know what I'm saying, like in the past, I feel like that they were like, we don't want to only do this as a Black cast. That Tina Fey, she threw in that contrast, you know what I'm saying, because she is so Tina Fey, like she's vanilla, but she's funny at the same time, but she's like that background actress though at the same time. Like we don't like, oh hey, Tina Fey, it's not someone that's gonna pop up in a conversation constantly, but like at the same time, like she's still someone that like a lot of people can relate to, like with the Karen situation. You see what I'm saying?
But yeah, it's reverse racism, because we were complaining that Disney wasn't doing nothing with Black people. That's the reverse. Like, so now it's like, okay, well, y'all did that, so you better make sure you put in, you know what I mean? Like, come on, it's like that's not the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like what all Black cast movie have we had? We've never, like, other than the Robert Townsend low budget films, like, you know what I'm saying, we've never had an all Black cast.
Yeah,
there's
you're
always
right.
a white person in that movie.
Right.
Somewhere.
Right. But that's just how the movie makers in Hollywood, that's how they are though. You know what I'm saying? They will not, they'll give us our little bit, like they'll give you, your snack, but they're not going to give you the whole entree. You see what I'm saying? Like they'll give you some, but not all.
Well, here's the deal. What Tiki is saying is we're the consumers. As Black people, we actually are the arbiters of a $1.3 trillion industry each year. We actually represent dollar for dollar an actual small country if it comes down to it. So if you're going to cater to us, then do it the way we request, not the way that you request. Now, with the movie producers, the budget, the money comes in and says, well, wait a minute. They may have all that money, but they only 14% of the population. And if we want to get the other 86%, we better sprinkle a little bit of vanilla off in that as well. And that's where the conflict lies. And in actuality, we know that you can have an all Black cast. Listen, they did have Home, which came out, which was never had to change their character into something else. And might I forget, one of the most classic movies from back in the day, Ty, you can respect this, Bebe's Kids.
Baby! Oh my God. That was one of the best movies ever. I love that movie.
You know what I'm saying? So it can be done. Don't give me this, it can't be done. And we respect you. You know, it's all good, Disney. Y'all tried to do y'all little thing. But I can say, in all honesty, Tiki, I know you listening, and Jamie Foxx is happy to hear everything that you just said. But Wanda is mad as hell at your ass. She is like, don't be messing up my money. Wanda out here trying to tear you up, yo. So be careful. Be
I
careful.
don't need no Eddie Monster looking with the Widow Pig fake, wearing funky breath, breathing, coming into my window when you weren't even invited with them random old tie clothes, looking like Pee Wee Herman, like he was on crack. White boy.
Calm down, Wanda. Calm down, yo. She's just expressing her opinion. Don't be like that. We all love you. We love Jamie Foxx. We love the movie, and we gonna go ahead and keep it moving. Listen. Thank you. Don't go too far. Soul wasn't the only thing that dropped over the course of the last weekend. Please bear with me and my lighting as I get readjusted. I think my other camera's finally ready, but we'll worry about that in a second. It wasn't the only thing that got dropped. Also, surprise, surprise, one of my favorite shows was re-emerged and came out. I wasn't even expecting this. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all who are avid watchers of different shows on the History Channel, we all know that this was something that came out of nowhere. And I like to get almost anybody who's on the panel who wants to talk about this. And let's discuss greatness of one Vikings return.
Everyone will always underestimate you. You must make them pay for it.
My darling Bjorn, we lost Ragnar. We lost Lagertha. Perhaps the golden age of the Vikings is gone.
We need you to live, to lead us.
I knew he was asleep, yo. I knew he was. I got his ass sleeping. Nah, just playing. That was messed up. Yo, so the Vikings is back, yo. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in. I think that Mom watches Vikings. I think that Tiki watches Vikings. Yo, let's go ahead and just talk about this Vikings joint. Now, listen here. I don't want to spoil too much. But I will say I am a big fan of this fella right here, okay? And hopefully, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what the future holds, but I think this guy on the other end of the screen has something to do with the fate of one young Bjorn. Now, ladies and my man Ty. Hey, first of all, how about us? This is the first time we've been outnumbered on the screen. Hallelujah. Blerd Nation.
A lot of estrogen on this here.
I should be always. I didn't start watching Vikings until it was already in like third season. Now I love these type of shows, The Last Kingdom, stuff like that. With I am Uhtred, son of Uhtred, and I
love that show.
It is nothing dense. It is deep. Let's take come out. You know how you say. Now, this is a little different because this is a show that has been able to survive despite. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil losing its main character in like the third or fourth season. Ragnar was the main character. But ever since Ragnar's been gone, they just put pretty face Bjorn up on that bit, and that bit just keep on killing it, bro. Look, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gay, but it's hard not to get lost in Bjorn's eyes. All right, like. Oh my god! All right, he's held this down for a while, but I'm a little concerned. I mean, now the season's coming to an end. I don't know what to expect. Have y'all already seen? Has anybody actually watched the last 6 episodes? Has anybody watched it? If so, don't spoil. We're gonna give everybody a week, but don't spoil. But has anybody already watched it?
The last 6 episodes. This is
the final season. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
but part 2.
Yeah, but I mean, has it already started?
Yes.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yes.
I'm gonna binge watch it today.
Look.
Yeah.
Oh.
Look, I'm trying to get to it now because I'm a little behind.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
And don't screw with me.
Like this is new news to me. This is new because now I thought Bjorn was dead. I thought he was dead.
Well, is he dead?
Is he?
Clearly not, based on the trailer that I just saw you play. The trailer I just saw you play.
I was gonna say, Tiki, where are you at so we don't spoil this for you because
Tiki's a fake fan, yo. Tiki likes him.
The Vikings was on TV and I had to watch it episode by episode and I got lost. But listen, don't do me like that.
What happened after you watched the first 3 episodes? You just went ahead and just canceled your whole cable. What happened? What's going on? Why are you so behind
Game of Thrones. And I rewatched it again over COVID. I rewatched Game of Thrones.
That last season was horrible.
And then I went into Witchers. Yes, the last season was horrible. But Witchers, I got into all that stuff and got sidetracked.
Okay.
I got you.
Are you caught up, Yas?
Oh, of course I'm caught up.
Are you caught up with this season? Did you watch this season yet?
Not the new one yet. I'm gonna watch that. Today.
So we should all be at the same point then, except for Tiki, who has been watching The Witcher.
Which I'm not hating. That show was pretty badass too. I did like.
No, we all
guys
agree. We
agree.
agree. We definitely agree. It's badass. I'm just saying, as a true Vikings fan, she a couple seasons behind. I'm just saying.
Yo, what is that finger? What finger is that, Tiki? That finger. Could you bring it?
Come in. I saw it come in. She was like, come in. I don't know. You want me to? She wants to whisper in my ear. I don't know.
All right. Well, for the out of respect. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, it's my bad. Go ahead.
No, I'm laughing at y'all. Y'all are great. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, out of respect for those who haven't seen the new season of Vikings, we won't spoil it past the trailer. This is just a trailer. All right, it doesn't give too much away, I don't think. But it definitely at least gives you an indication. But I mean, look, it's the trailer.
That's a lot.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't make this.
Yeah.
It gave a lot. I'm really excited.
It's not giving nothing. I mean, you see that. Ivar's
old. Giving a lot away. I just saw Bjorn. So that gives a lot away right there, bro.
But if you watch the trailer, then you'll know. You can't watch. Look, if you watch the show, you'll notice the way that. Listen, everything that it shows here is like opening scene stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't really nothing that I'm giving. I can't tell you whether or not Bjorn is with us or if he's in Valhalla. All right.
So you didn't watch the full trailer then, because when I watched the full trailer, I was like, oh shit! I cannot wait. So go back and look on YouTube one more time. I'm telling you, because there was a little trailer and then there was like a bigger trailer, and the bigger trailer had me on pins and needles. Like, I cannot wait to binge watch the rest of this. Oh my god!
So I need to know when are we back to talk about this so I can be ready, because y'all gonna have to have me back because I'm a Viking. I need to go get ready. So how long I got?
You need to hop off and go jump on. That's what you need to do. Hop off and go jump on and watch and just binge watch, because you said a couple seasons. That sound like about 20-something episodes. So you
got like 2-3 days to dedicate.
How about like the beginning of season 6?
Okay, all right. So you're now with the Sons of Ragnar. So you're with the Sons of Ragnar. Okay. So at least you ain't still back in Katniss.
So Ivor he didn't wreck some shops up in one of them castles, and that's the last one I'm on where he kill off all the people.
Hey, so we sit there trying not to spoil shit, and then you just gonna start spoiling.
Okay.
All right, look, next week we give you a week. We come back next week. We'll do a Vikings binge recap on what we saw. We give you a week, and then that's it. After that, you got to mute, you got to turn away, you got to throw the computer, throw the phone, whatever it is you got to do. But that's what it is. We're gonna give you a week. And also, I do know that Tiki, I don't know. I mean, I know you're still waiting to go somewhere, but if you want to stick around, we still have more because we haven't even gone into our Marvel saga. But I will say that one more time for those of y'all who do watch the Vikings show. Vikings is back. Make sure y'all check it out so you can discuss it with us next week. We're going to go deeper into it. Uh-oh, somebody mad. You done made somebody mad, yo. See, somebody in the comments is like, whoa, hold on, man. How you just going?
Yeah, I mean, hold on. But it's all good. Uh-oh. It's all good, though. It's all good. We back, and we just going to go ahead and keep it moving.
No.
Yo, I mean, kind of, yeah, but not whole, not, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is quite a bit of episode
That's
here.
back there.
What do you want me to do, man? What do you want me to do? I can't just not show it. I spent like hours putting this stuff up here, and I'm gonna get my goddamn. You know what I'm saying? That is what it is. Well, anyway, sit tight, Tiki. We're gonna go ahead and let you enjoy it. Just don't go too far if you can. If you do that, make sure you let us know. Ty, yes, we still got more to talk about, and we even have some more friends to talk about us with it. What we have discussed is Disney. We have discussed how Disney has managed to have a whole slew of different shows. But what we haven't discussed is what Disney has not produced that they have already announced. Now, I brought some dudes to help me discuss what I think this future Disney, at least they are projecting, is going to look like.
Because if you've been paying attention, you'll notice that they have released all of these spoilers that they think they're going to drop. Right? Now, probably sitting there talking about Hawkeye, talk about the Falcon, the Winter Soldier, talk about Moon Knight.
When is Loki and WandaVision coming out? I've been waiting for like 2 years now, I feel like.
Well, you know, it's funny you mentioned that, Yas, because in actuality, we do have some friends here. I've got the homie, Tyrone Thornhill, who made a special guest appearance earlier, here to discuss some of that information. And I've also got the homie Lauren here to help us unpick some of the Marvel wins and fallacies. Now, for you two gentlemen, I do want y'all specifically to help me. Oh, am I echoing? Is that somebody else?
We got some echo somewhere.
All right, somebody, if you got two devices, make sure you mute the second one or throw it out or whatever it is you got to do. But guys, y'all are the Marvel guys. All right, one time for my man Lauren, one time for Tyrone. I specifically need y'all here because I need somebody to explain to me what the hell's going on here.
Heavenly shades of night are calling. It's twilight time.
Wonder and Vision, aren't we a five-pair?
This is our home now. I want us to fit in.
Oh, this is gonna be a gas!
Where did you two move from? How long have you been married? And why don't you have children yet?
Our story.
I think what my wife means to say is that we moved from...
Moved from where? Married when? Damn it, why?
Oh, Arthur, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Deep in the dark, your kiss spilled milk.
This is really happening.
Like days of old, lighting the spark of love that fills me.
Am I dead?
No. Why would you think that?
Because you are.
Each day I pray for evening just to be.
We are an unusual couple, you know.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
What in the entire fuck is that?
So okay, I get where you're coming from, and I know immediately what you're gonna say. But I think what is trying to be done here is that this whole, like, you know how everybody say, "Yo, the ship is this relationship. I want it. I love it." And I think what they're trying to do is pick that perfect picture of what what their relationship would be like, an I Love Lucy kind of thing.
Right.
Well, I'm curious now if they're incorporating death into the Marvel universe. You know, the version that Deadpool fell in love with. So I'm like, are we now intertwining Deadpool's universe into this too? I'm not sure where they're going with it, but it intrigues you to a level of, okay, what the fuck am I about to sit down for? Like, am I about to sit down for a love story? Are we about to like be taken on a journey of like new things? Like, because sometimes Marvel likes to take new things and splice it out there and see how we feel about it.
New things, bro. New things.
That's not happening in the comics at all.
Yeah, I mean, come on, look, bro. Look, when the hell did we decide that this was cool? Like, what exactly about this is any way whatsoever appealing? Explain to me. I mean, because I'm completely lost. I'm not a big Scarlet Witch. I'm not a big Vision fan. Those aren't my two categories. You see me over the shoulder. I rep Miles to the day. They call me Smiles Morales. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, what the hell, Tyrone? Do you share the same sentiments that Lauren is trying to tell us? Like, when I watch this, it makes me sad.
Yeah, so no, well, there are a couple things.
Join Wonder Woman in the ranks. What the fuck? What's going on?
Yeah, no, it's different from anything that they've done yet, and I think that's part of the appeal for a lot of people.
Right.
I think what's, for in my opinion, what it's going to be is that is kind of like their way of dealing with grief, and it's just kind of create this in their mind, this fantasy world and stuff like that. And it's you know, and what we see in the trailer, we do see that it's an artificial world of some sort, and it's breaking down. So they're going to have to deal with these real world consequences of Infinity War and Endgame, and I think this is all going to be Wanda's mind, because you know, she's such a powerful individual in the Marvel lore and stuff, and I know that they have confirmed that they're going to use this show to tie in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and even the next Spider-Man movie, which is going to be bringing in other worlds, other universes, other realities. So this is going to be just a completely reality bending, absolute, you know, just it's going to be craziness. It's going to be when they talk about it.
That right there.
I feel like this, like, I don't know. You know how like Wanda's always telling Vision to get out of her head and stuff like that. So like, I feel like this is like their, like, I feel like Vision and Wanda somehow, like, this is their, like you said, this is their escape, their getaway, right? But I feel like somehow, because Vision has that all-seeing eye, you know what I'm saying, like the Infinity Stone, I feel like they're trapped in this alternate reality of what they want versus, you know, like you said, like what they actually have, you know what I mean? Like, and as you say, like they're the main Avengers that are in love, you know what I'm saying? So if they weren't actual Avengers, would this be their actual perfect love story of them being together, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's why they're foreshadowing this, for us to see that as, like, you know, like this is what could have been for them, but obviously, you know.
I want to throw something at you, just a little, just something for your mind to chew on a little bit. If you remember at the end of Infinity War, when Shuri was trying to get the Mind Stone out of Vision, and they were trying to get that so they could destroy it. You know, the clock was ticking down, the attack was happening, Wakanda was being attacked, and they told Shuri to go ahead and hurry up. So if you notice, just before Thanos' boys get into the castle, Shuri finishes what she's doing and closes out whatever she's doing. So what I'm thinking is that they're using that. This is kind of like almost an existing almost backup of Vision from that Infinity War moment.
I was thinking that too, but I also was thinking about, since her whole power is reality itself, what if she's creating this reality for her?
Yeah,
like as a way of coping with loss. And that's why when you see Death as a character in like their friendship, it's like, since she's coping with an alternate reality, now it's Vision noticing certain things, like, wait, why am I here? It's like, wait, how do you know you're here? I'm Death. Like, whoa, what's going on? Like,
okay,
the
so
reality is splitting now, so there's an issue. So
So
I
are you
think
thinking
Scarlet Witch might have her mind be used against her at some point, or her creating this fantasy for herself is augmenting to reality from life and death?
So are you thinking that Catherine Khan, the woman who was in the car that he touched and stuff, do you think that she's portraying the Death character in this, or do you think?
I feel like she's going to portray Death.
Nice. Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah, because like, think about, like, if she's borderline, if she's trying to keep things in order, because if Scarlet Witch is borderline in life and augmenting reality, and you have Death as a friend, you're keeping things where it needs to be. But then all of a sudden now, if Death is in a reality where Death can be seen everywhere, like, wait, whoa, how are you knowing you're dead? Like, this is not good. So yeah.
I mean, I hear that and everything, man. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like, y'all are dropping characters' names that I'm ashamed to admit that I'm not as familiar with as I probably should be.
That's not about it, real nerds.
Hold on, man. Let me remove you from the goddamn. How you just gonna?
I'm out. All right, let me get.
Look, as a classic guy who doesn't read Scarlet Witch comics, I'm just personally wondering when I can get my Scarlet Witch back.
Yes.
Is my Scarlet Witch.
I might have an answer.
My Scarlet Witch. How did we go from Scarlet Witch, kick Thanos' ass, completely distort reality, to freaking Stephanie from Full House?
You got a taste.
Please explain this to me.
You got a taste, because you got to remember, the whole thing we got to look for is M-Day. That's the biggest thing that Scarlet Witch is known for, is M-Day. So if we give you all of this now, when M Day comes, it's not going to be shocking. And I don't think the universe is going to do M Day, but if it does,
what you talking about? Is this House of M?
You
talking about House of M stuff?
No, yeah. M Day where she takes all the mutant powers, like she just erased mutant powers.
Okay. Yas, I need you to translate. These have completely outblurred me.
So real quick, M Day is a thing that Magneto kind of plots out, and where he uses Scarlet Witch to pretty much eliminate all mutants, like all mutant powers. She just eradicates because of augmenting reality. So M Day is supposed to be like the big day where mutants don't exist anymore.
Yo, so you're trying to tell me that this has some place in the Marvel universe that somehow some big momentous moment is going to lead back to Stephanie and Joey Tanner.
If I can flip it real quick, maybe because as a person who can augment reality, your own reality is so messed up that if you can't have your partner in the same world as you, why even have this world? You know how some people can get when you grieve really hard.
So you're saying that like she basically becomes like just giving an example, like the Phoenix basically in X-Men.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what M Day is, pretty much.
I do have something.
That's what I was getting at. When he was saying that, that's what I was envisioning was like, is she the Phoenix then? Then she, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you know how the Phoenix is like the almighty, like she can touch you and kill you, and like your skin will literally like fall apart like your paper. You know what I'm saying? So you know, like she has that power. You know what I'm saying? Like if you remember, Jean Grey was the Phoenix, and if you think about it, those two characters are very similar in the fact of their mind controlling, how everything works. They use their hands. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all mental kind of thing. So I can see where that falls into that, where that could be. You know what I'm saying? They could play that into it. But my question is, how did we get from Marvel and, you know what I'm saying, the Infinity Wars to back to X-Men? How does that tie in? That's my question, because doesn't Jean Grey turn into the Phoenix and she goes into like the atmosphere?
Well, I mean, unless at some point they plan on finally merging the universes, I mean, we kind of understand that, you know, Fox and Disney, two different things.
Right.
You know, but even though in our reality, Scarlet Witch is from X-Men. She's from the X-Men generation and stuff like that. So I feel like if they're going to do it, it's the only way it can happen. Like really, because M Day involves every mutant.
I was thinking more of like, you know how Loki can alter people's realities? I was thinking maybe like, because they're coming out with the two shows very similar in the time being, maybe they're going to possibly link them together, and Loki is the one putting her in this alternate reality while she's fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm thinking, because like if
using her mind against her. Yes. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because that's Loki's trick. He's the god of mischief. You know what I'm saying? Like that is his goal in life, is to cause mischief and havoc and to ruin everything from the inside out. Your mind is the inside out. You see what I'm saying? So like they haven't released either of those series, and they like you guys said, we've been waiting for over a year now for them to come out. They literally told us last year around Christmas time that they were gonna come out with these two series. They still haven't. So that's what I'm thinking, is like maybe they're gonna entwine those two things together. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, like where the hell is Loki during all this time?
I mean, technically, we saw an Infinity War. That man got his neck snapped.
Technically, but they went back in time. So where is Loki?
Okay, you're right. We went back in time. I was about to just say, like in general, not just a back in time thing, but like, remember how the reality might get split between life and death?
Yeah.
What if Loki tries to use Wanda to get back into reality as like somebody that's alive? So there's so many things you can kind of do with that.
Technically, after they went back in time and they fixed the snap, okay, Loki didn't die. So where the hell is Loki? You see what I'm saying? Like he didn't die. If you do the timeline right, when they went back, he didn't die. Thor's mom died. They went back for that, but they did not go back for Loki to die. So you got to think about that.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where is he at in all this time being? And like, why is he gone? Where's Wanda? We don't even see Wanda. We don't even know who Wanda is until like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Infinity War type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, where's her story even come from? So I get that. That's just part of like my thought process.
Well, I think I can't hear you, Vince.
Yeah, we can hear you again.
I was saying, Mom wants to know which one of these fucking characters can she make a Lego set out of?
She-Hulk.
The only reason why I watched going back to Wonder Woman was because of that cheetah and the Wonder Woman, that scene. They made a set for that, so I want that set. So that was the only reason why I watched the movie, because I needed to find out what does a cheetah have to do with Wonder Woman. But in the Wonder Woman and the outfit, I would make that look so good.
Let me get.
And Cheetah's supposed to be a person of color too, so that's the thing.
Yeah, she is. Cheetah's supposed to be of color. You're so right about that. She was a black.
Cheetah is a person of color. I didn't watch. See, I couldn't engage into the Wonder Woman conversation because I didn't watch it yet, because I kept hearing so much bad stuff. Not getting into DC real quick, but I didn't. When they brought up the whole Cheetah thing, I was like, wait, was Cheetah in the movie? Oh snap! So.
Well, I mean, hold on, man.
Beautiful. That's the best time to do it and watch the movie. That way you can, it's there, but you can focus on your
I've already been spoiled. I'm okay with that. I'm just like, I already know I'm going into a dumpster fire. I'm just making sure that I'm toxic coming out of it. You know?
I got something for you on WandaVision, Vince, because you asked a specific question. You were like, when am I going to get powerful Scarlet Witch? When is she coming back?
Yes.
They did an interview when they were doing press for WandaVision, and they sat down and they had Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany talking about the show. And she said that when she sat down with Kevin Feige, when she first got into WandaVision, she read all the comics and stuff, and she was really into the character and really into her power and everything. And they haven't gotten to really explore that yet. But she said this show is where they really explore the limits of her power.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
So what we should see is like, a real scale for what Wanda can do.
We only really know like a little bit about her powers. You know what I'm saying? That she can control minds. You know what I'm saying? And she can obviously control fucking Vision and shut his ass down. And he's like fucking powerful as hell. You know what I mean? And he can go through people, and she can stop him and his like his cycling.
How do we know she can control Vision?
Are you serious? You need to go back and watch one of these movies.
Yeah.
She literally was holding his head, but holding his head at one point.
Yeah, and well, in Civil War, as they're trying to keep Wanda, they're trying to keep Wanda kind of in hiding, basically. And Vision tries to, basically just keep her as like a bodyguard. But what she does is she takes him and literally crumples him into a ball.
He's
and
like,
It's like a bodyguard relationship
and
with
then
those
throws his ass, and then she disappears with
Hawkeye.
I'm just crazy, yo. Well, I think that's good. I think that what may have happened here, guys, you tell me if I'm wrong, Lauren and Tyrone, I'm leaning heavily on y'all. I think that what they're doing with WandaVision is they're dumbing it down. They're doing it the better way. This is what Marvel does better than DC. It's a marketing strategy, right? Rather than give away the whole series, rather than tell everybody exactly what's going to happen so that your expectations is up here, they're making the shit look completely stupid, all right? It looks completely ridiculous. I'm sorry. If you're just an average person who watches Marvel movies or Marvel shows, you're like, yo, I have no idea what any of this is about. So when you watch, you're expecting to not like it. Like me, I'm not a big Scarlet Witch guy. I wasn't into Quicksilver. I wasn't into Vision. I'm a Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, and then I like some aspects of the X-Men. But even X-Men got hella elaborate. But I can tell that this is going to be something that leads into something else, because the difference between Marvel and DC is they're all connected. The MCU doesn't just stand for the big screen. You can watch something in Daredevil and it can be applicable to Into the Spider-Verse. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like they're setting us up for that. And then you have a cast like this, which we can talk about the lack of melanin on the cast as well. That's a whole other subject. We'll go into that later. We spent plenty of time. We'll have time for next week.
Yeah, shout out to Monica Rambeau on that real quick, because she's there.
Yeah, this is
when it's used, it's used sparingly. But Monica Rambeau is a good character, and I can't wait to see what they do with her.
Okay. Well, look at
I like I said, I'm glad that you see that now, because again, when you see it in Infinity War, the taste of what Scarlet Witch can become, dumbing it down, like how I think they did with Captain Marvel. They did with Captain Marvel where they made her like stupid, right? But then when you see her in like the other movies, you're like, she's supposed to be this OP powerful person. Why is she not doing that yet? And then she comes in at the final fight and stops everything. So you get the jokingly goofy side of them. All of a sudden, the real side of them comes out. You're like, finally we get this thing.
And to the look of it, Vince. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the look of it, Vince, because I picked up a little fact that you might like. They actually filmed that first episode in front of a live studio audience.
Oh wow! Was it at the Improv?
No, they did it like pre-COVID, and I guess Paul Bettany was talking about it. He said he was terrified because he hadn't been on stage in so long, whatever, in front of people. But so this show is going to be absolutely crazy, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. But yeah.
I really hope that all of this black and white stuff is on the first episode, and then it blasts past that for the remainder of them.
Yeah.
Ty, what you say?
That's what I was going to talk about. I was like, I think we should talk about the cinematic side, because I mean, how is that going to translate to the millennials and to the people like now? Because I grew up in the time where I saw I Love Lucy, and I saw, you know what I'm saying, like the Perry Masons and stuff like that, you know what I mean, that was in black and white. And now putting a black and white anything into a movie, like for a long period of time, I don't see that boding well, you know, from a cinematic standpoint for viewers.
I feel like they're gonna make the colors splash out in a way that we're like not expecting, though. That's why they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're giving us a bit of old school and new school. Like, we don't know anything about Wanda. We have no idea where she came from, how she got these powers. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know really any of her backstory. So I feel like maybe that she was born in that time period, just like, you know, like Captain America. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think about it, he was born like during World War II, right? When TV first came out, it was not in color. You know what I'm saying? So, and if you think about it, they integrated him from that time period to now. So maybe that has something to do with her storyline, and that's why like they decided to do it that way. So people can understand like this was the way of things, and now this is the way of things. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Well, that's not even. See, I'm not even arguing that. That part I'm not even arguing. My point that I'm trying to make is visually, how will it translate to people now watching it? Like people are not used to black and white films, is my point. And when you try, if they don't oversaturate it, if they don't overdo it, then yeah, maybe it goes okay. But if you're seeing this in every episode, then I think that's where the disconnect will be with most fans. They'll be like, I don't feel like watching this.
I don't think we're gonna see it in every episode. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're giving it taste in bits. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's like they might do like a flashback type thing to like, you know, and not in color and in color. Like, if you think about it, Vision, like, you know, he can alter reality. So maybe they're gonna use him with, you know, like with the stone to like kind of bring the light, you know what I'm saying, to the reality or something like that. You know, so I don't know. I think Marvel, like we said, it sets apart from DC because they're so innovative in like the way that they bring things to light. You know what I'm saying? So I think that little bit of history, I feel like they're gonna make it so that like kids are like, oh my God, black and white is like, it's so cool. It's vintage. You see what I'm saying? Like, it becomes something that like is what it's not, basically. You know what I mean? It's like, if you think about it, nobody has ever done that before. Like, there's not one movie or show that's ever come out recently that has been that contrast between the colors. We know, obviously, by looking at, you know, the opening page for the show, that it's going to have color to it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the black and white is just going to be like that little bit of different contrast that we kind of like need to like fall in love with a new idea of like how television, like our history behind how television came to be. Like, we have all this CGI stuff, but how did we get there? We started in black and white. You know what I'm saying?
Back in the I want to say it's a little bit more than 10 years. You had Pleasantville, the movie. It started out with the black and white, and then as the people started, Tobey Maguire started seeing the change or something different, then they mutated into color. So I think that's what they're going with the vibe.
Yeah, but my Pleasantville was trash. Pleasantville was trash. I'm gonna be honest. Like, yo, I'm not gonna just because mom said it. No, Pleasantville was trash.
She's talking about like how they brought
about the cinematic part.
Yes,
but that's my point. Y'all keep making my point though. I'm not disregarding that. That's what I'm not disregarding that. What I'm saying is, from a visual standpoint, people now do not want to see black and white films. They don't.
The older people may be drawn back in. Remember, those are the ones cashing in those 401ks and kicking back with that retirement money so we can get the PS5, and they're paying to get this in there.
Not only that, to touch on that, but think about it. Okay, if I could just reflect real quick, our age group in this chat right now is so versatile. So think about it. If you have, someone like, say, in the category of my mom's age, and then Ty in your age, and then in my age group, do you see the difference in that? Do you see, like, that's what I'm saying? Like, that's where mom's coming from. That pop from it being in black and white to color will intrigue kids that are younger because it's so visually, like, striking. And the older people will appreciate it more because they're giving something that they haven't done before. You see what I'm saying? Like they're throwing it back. The OG status. You know what I'm saying?
The older people, Yas, are going to be the ones calling us trying to figure out how to work the goddamn Disney Plus button and how to log on and how do you
my grandmother is 73 years old and she has an iPhone 12 and tells me how intricate and how much different stuff she can do with her phone constantly. It's not that serious, okay?
Y'all are different. Y'all are different. Your mom is it had to come from somewhere.
Yeah,
your mom,
you do realize you're not normal, right?
If grandma is like that, grandma's like that too.
Y'all, that's not like that. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I don't mean like that. I just mean
her
mom. You know what I'm talking about? Like it had to come from somewhere.
Listen. My mom was born 20 years after her brothers were already born. My mom is the oh my God, I got pregnant after my kids are grown. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. My grandmother was not into any of that stuff. My mom was into that stuff because of her brothers and because of the male, that she had her dad and everybody around her that contributed to those things. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It was formed. It was created. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they're trying to do with this. They're trying to get people's attention. Like, hey, yes, it may be awesome. It may be powerful.
Generations.
Right. But you can go back to it because of the generations. That's what I'm getting at. You see what I'm saying? Like, I could literally put that on when my fiance's grandmother is here and she'd watch that shit because of how it was reproduced, because of how they thought the process on who's going to be watching this. What kind of audience do I want to captivate with this? You don't just captivate the already nerds that watch it. You're captivating different age groups, different generations to try and get intrigued into this. That's how it all starts. One little seed can grow into a plant, dog. Remember,
my granddaughter watches black and white because she thinks it's phenomenal. Like, wow, where did the color go?
No, she don't.
Y'all are different. Y'all are not regular.
I'm with Ty on this one. Like, I think y'all are a special breed. I mean, everybody in here. Listen, I'm gonna put everybody on the screen. All right, let's just keep it real. Out of everybody in here, all right, it's 6 of us in this room, and only one of us has a mom that has a room full of Legos that have been. I mean, one has a mom that lets us curse outwardly in public. One of us has a mom that has Wonder Woman figurines. You know what I'm saying? And I think that y'all are looking at this through your limited scope. I don't know, Tyrone. Did Tyrone and Lauren to y'all parents
make him choke?
Are we tripping? And then we got to go ahead and move on because I got a couple more things. Then we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up because I know y'all got things to do as well, man. But Lauren, I don't think your mom builds Lego sets.
Negative. My mom collects elephants though. Collects elephants.
Nice.
Oh, like actual elephants.
Well, no, like anything elephant in nature, like it could be something that's a couch. It has like elephant pillows, the 3D model prints and stuff like that. Like whole house is flooded with elephant pictures and paintings, all that.
Okay, elephant figurine. Okay, so she's a Republican. Got it.
Got a big game hunter now.
She even has like merchandise from Alabama, the football team, because there's an elephant as a logo. Not even a fan of football, but she got stuff from there. I'm like, Mom, you don't even watch football.
Your mom got any collectibles, bro? You a Tyrone, that is. I realize we have two Ties now, Tyrone and Ty Briks. Do you and y'all surprisingly have very similar shades. I guess they just had all in the building. I'll have mine Ty White, please. Thank you very much. Do y'all have this same color but in Ty? I was trying to paint the wall a little different.
That's the shade. Buy it for makeup. It's Ty.
Yo, anyway, Tyrone, before we move on, man, your mom got any? I mean, look, my mom is not. No. All right. If you want to ask her about what she collects, is Bible verses. All right. We can go from Genesis to Revelations and blessings. Yeah. What about you, Tyrone? What about you, homeboy?
My mom did not do Legos or collect them or build them. She exclusively stepped on them. So there was not any room for actual collection there. But she is going to be one of the people that's going to watch WandaVision and love the black and white stuff. She's going to absolutely love it.
I adore it right now. I like it. It's a different spin off of
There's so much old school about that. It's awesome. It's classic. You can't.
Yeah, I like it because it's a different twist of what we're normally getting too. Like we've been getting everything colorized, and just like the normal format. But it's suddenly like, wait, what's going on here? This is a bit different. Now it's going to make you kind of watch it more because it's different.
Right.
Yeah,
I think everybody once it drops is going to have a different perspective. Yeah. I'm not so optimistic as you guys are, for the simple fact that Marvel, when it comes to TV series, their track record is not that great. I mean, they had Daredevil, and then Punisher, and then it got a little real murky. Luke Cage
is okay. Luke Cage was okay.
Luke Cage was good. Luke Cage was good. But from a Marvel perspective, your expectations because of what they've done thus far is so high that when you come down to a TV series and you have the ability to kind of drag it out, which for me, I would think that you would have more time thoroughly invested in it. It would come out better. But the fact that Marvel hasn't done that, consistently, I'm not as optimistic about WandaVision as you guys are. I think the black and white I think the black and white will become aggravating, and I do think polarizing. I do think a lot when it comes to the younger generation, especially the millennials. I deal with them. I know how they move. They're not gonna watch this. They're not gonna if it's a lot of black and white, they're not gonna watch it.
I don't think it's the black and white that's gonna visually offset them. I think it's the I Love Lucy overtones and jokes.
Yeah.
It's not the visuals. It's the quirky and the blue magic.
That's true. Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
What are we doing here? Rather than the visual of it being black and white. Because there's many cinema that have went black and white that have been okay. It's the content that is
what? No recent. I'll give you the last 20 years. Last 20 years, give me a black and white film that did well in the box office.
Not a film, but like scenes, not a full film.
Give me a black and white in the last 20 years that did well.
All right, hold on. Let me get back to you on that one because you put me on the spot with that one. Off the real. Give me that, and I got you on that one.
Oh man!
What I'm saying is, in a sense, like I don't think it's the visuals. I think it's definitely the overtones of what the show will bring, and like the quirky and like, oh my gosh, this is cheesy love. Like, oh, it's disgusting. Like, I think that's what would offset them more than the actual like color of the show.
Yeah.
So
I will say this. Yes, there have been one or two black and white scenes that may work, But the only show, I think, movie that came out that was all black and white was that joint called The Artist or something like that, and it was
City.
It was basically a silent movie, and nobody saw it. I wouldn't bootleg
Sin City.
Huh?
Sin City. Yep, you're right. Sin City.
Sin City was good. Sin City was good.
But there was flash of colors and like blood and stuff like that. Everything else was black and white. But like if blood splat screen, it was
Sin City in our realm, like of the people that love comic book and our blerds and nerds, we appreciate Sin City. The box office did not appreciate Sin City. Sales did not appreciate Sin City.
It got a sequel. It did get a sequel.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Again, we perpetuate a lot. We perpetuate things in the industry. We do. As nerds, we do. We can perpetuate things. But when it comes to sales from an aspect of a business standpoint, Sin City and Sin City 2 did not put up major numbers. Sin City did better than Sin City 2 because Bruce Willis was I think it was Bruce Willis. Yeah. Wasn't it Bruce?
Yeah,
Bruce Willis was the main character. So therefore, when you have a character, a actor of his magnitude, the movie is going to bring in Bruce Willis fans. So you know what I mean? Like you get a lot of that, which comes along with our nerds and blerds and everything like that. Like, but what I'm talking about is I'm strictly not talking about it from a nerd's perspective. I'm talking about it from a business standpoint and how Marvel has been unsuccessful with their TV series. And now you have WandaVision, which I think is going to have, depending on when it drops, because they've held it back. If it drops with Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then drops with Loki or whatever, then you now have to compete with these other shows, which I don't know if it stands up with the Falcon and Winter Soldier based on the trailer that I saw. I don't know if it stands up with She-Hulk or Loki. I particularly think if they have the same character that plays Loki might be the biggest show of all of them.
Yeah, that's facts.
I will say this: you're definitely on to something. Evidently, Mom's planning a new future stepdad in Loki for Yas. But I will say this:
Nah, that's Sam Hugan.
Okay, excuse me. She got a whole list. Mom is unleashing the bucket list on the Blerds on the new Blerd Order. I will say this, Ty. You bring up a great point because you're basically saying that Marvel hasn't had that much success. I mean, I think that that's being dictated based off the fact that they were all canceled. I do think that Luke Cage was decent. Punisher still, I think, is one of the best series that they brought out. Daredevil was, I still think, the dopest. And even Jessica Jones, I think, held its own. But what we can definitely go ahead, Ty. Go ahead.
Oh, wait, never mind. No, I think if you want to put it in perspective, all Marvel shows on Netflix were fire. Anything outside the realm of Netflix have been trash. Like the Marvel, what was the show that
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
the S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
The S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm more fans of like the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, then after
that last season was trash.
Yeah,
the last season, the final season was trash.
But
that
again,
was just like that was pandemic.
But again, the Netflix show's fire.
But also, though, they did come out with Agent Carter on Disney Plus, and that wasn't that bad. Like, you know, it gave like the insider to like, you know, Peggy and everything and like her life and what led up to, you know, how she got into the Avengers and stuff like that. That wasn't that bad of a show. Like the story and everything, it wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying?
But WandaVision is actually going to be the very first like MCU, like this is Marvel Studios only, like not ABC, not Fox, not Netflix. This is right. Marvel. This is Disney. So this is going to be the first real test.
Yeah, that show, like it wasn't bad at all. Like I'm excited for the next season to come out on it. You know what I'm saying? So like they do have a lot of hit or misses. You're so right about that. But it's like I feel like it's the show and like how creative the writers can get with the content that they can bring out into it. You know what I'm saying? Like things that we didn't know about each character. That's why I feel like this WandaVision like it's all going to take us for a loop. Yes, Ty, I agree with you, Ty, that it might not be everything that like you're not all excited about it, but at the same time, like there's things about it that get you excited. Like this scene right now with Vision and Wanda, like you're just like, why are they dressed like that? Like what the hell is about to happen? Because Wanda is a badass. That bitch can fucking blast you and control people. And Vision, he's a badass too. So it's just like, how are these two great characters in white collar outfits? You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of like the twist off.
Watching Vince roll his eyes.
I like when they actually poke fun at them wearing the original costumes too.
I can guarantee you, I can tell the future. I'm probably gonna fast forward through this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to sit.
I think that's gonna be the funniest though. Like that's gonna make it. It's gonna make that show more like organic. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's what's gonna help like make it. Like you have to watch that. You can't skip that shit. Don't be half-assed.
Even Wanda.
You know what for me made Avengers so good as a series was the fact that the characters who did comedy or did the comedic parts of it seemed like it came naturally.
Right.
And I'm primarily speaking on Robert Downey Jr. because Robert Downey Jr. was by far the funniest and like the key to making Avengers work. But with that being said, I don't want to see a whole lot of funny on WandaVision. That's not what I want to see. I want to see what you guys have been talking about, which is Wanda showing off her capabilities with her powers and stuff like that. I don't like the little cheesy at home, like I don't like that. I don't think that's going for me. If you oversaturate that and you put too much of that in it and water it down to that point, it's going to be one of those series where it's going to be so much other stuff on TV that I could easily find myself putting on the back burner and not watching because there's other stuff better to watch.
Here comes that salt again. Ty's getting salty again.
well, speaking of salt, let me do this. Let's do this. Let's take a turn here. Now we've already established basically that half of us think that Wanda is going to be the dopest thing since sliced bread, and the other of us think it's going to be black and white trash. Like what Marvel definitely has done is they have managed to go through the year and keep us in suspense as for what the next project is. Unlike DC, which had to force on us Wonder Woman and had all those different issues, we can say that at least Marvel has a plan. Just kind of like that's what Disney does. I wonder how much of that has to do with Disney, because Disney, we also know, has the Star Wars franchise, and we know that as of late there have been some new Star Wars sequels or some new shows that they're trying to throw at us. We've got Luke coming out with his new show, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. As we mentioned last week, we are putting our lot in the casting our lot in the circle of Jar Jar getting his own show at one point in time. I'm still
He's a side nigga, let it go. He's a side nigga.
A brother can dream, all right? You know what I'm saying? Why leave the Naboo astray? They're the only people.
He's the dude driving the car that the other dude is hollering out of trying to pick the girl up.
All right, well, anyway, but my thing is, we definitely love the fact that the Disney franchise gave us The Mandalorian. We love The Mandalorian, all right? But I'm a little nervous, y'all, because as of late, because of the success of them adding Ahsoka in and with a big name star like Rosario Dawson, all right? Yeah. Now we get word that they may be interested in hiring one Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on the set of Mandalorian 3, which frankly pisses me off. I do not.
Is he going to be a Death Trooper?
Look. I would say, well, let's go through this. Look at Lauren. Lauren is already. Yo, me and you on the same page.
No.
Now, the rumor is he's going to be a young, sexy Jabba the Hutt.
Hell no, hold on. Why do you say that? Let's go through the story real quick. So evidently it's reported that, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but The Mandalorian is relying on star power, and it kind of states in here that because Ahsoka Tano was pretty popular that Dwayne is interested in heading to the galaxy. And we know when The Rock wants something, The Rock, as long as he gives you that eyebrow, he typically gets what The Rock wants. Hallelujah. Now, it also says that, it also says that, obviously nothing is guaranteed to happen, but it does state the fact that if you get the distinct impression that if Dwayne Johnson offers his services to any production, they would be foolish to turn him down. So now we are put in a world where we may have to have Bill Burr scoot over, Mina Wen scoot over, my man Pedro Pascal, Baby Yoda. We know what The Rock does when he gets on set. He obliterates the movie, he obliterates it, and it becomes all about him. This cannot happen. I refuse. We will march, we will lobby, we will be out protesting for the Mandalorian set because I refuse to let this happen. What were you going to say, Lauren?
No, the only reason why he's doing this is because Sasha Banks did it. Only reason why he's like, I can't let another wrestler like on set do what I do. So no,
that
I
woman,
gotta jump on that.
Every time I see her, I'm like, damn, she gets bigger every time. What the fuck?
Yo. They're gonna cast The Rock as a Wookiee with alopecia. That's gonna be his character.
They're only casting him so that she can have a badass like beat up scene with his ass, and she's gonna beat him the fuck down. You know what I mean? Like you do know that's why.
I don't need to see Rock with a saber. I don't need him to see with a lightsaber. If he touches one, I will immediately like disown him. I'm like, nope, Rock.
That's what I'm saying. He's probably gonna be one of them death troopers or like like the commanders with the red hats and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to fight her with the swinging sword, you know what I'm saying? Like coming at her with the gun.
Hey, calm down with the swinging sword. It's a family show, okay? Let's keep it above the waist.
Commander Cody or Rex? No.
See, Mom. See, you're giving him significant character roles. We want you to be number 3.
He's an extra.
Yeah, we listen. Let me put it to you this way. First of all, I don't even want to see this Rock in the Mandalorian. I don't want this Rock. If you're gonna put a Rock in the Mandalorian, I want to see this Rock in Mandalorian. I want to see this Rock. Basically, a Jabba the Hutt Jr. Give me the Rock of the Hutt. All right, and give me something that is actually credible. I am not trying to see this dude take up what the Mandalorian has already given us, because frankly, he takes up too much oxygen. The casting here is perfect. All right, even with Luke, if they start putting Luke in more than one episodes, it stops becoming the Mandalorian and starts becoming the Luke story. So once The Rock, and The Rock can't be on the screen and just have some extra role. He's gonna have to have a plot that puts him at the top of the cast call, and that it just feels like it's going. I feel the weight, the Mandalorian, the mantle will start slipping. Tyrone, what you think?
I don't know. What if they cast him as the voice of Grogu, and Grogu, just starts talking trash to everybody he comes across, and that's his new angle. Like he finally gets some language, and we all think he's gonna sound like Yoda, but he ends up sounding like The Rock.
Can you smell what the Force is cooking?
I just don't need him to do the typical thing he does in like most wrestlers do in movies. You come in, you do your old signature move from back in the day, and you do your signature thing. I don't need The Rock coming in doing something, doing the rock bottom to somebody like in a fight scene, and I'm like, you know what? Pulls me out.
Yo, I don't know.
I think we putting way too much into it, man. I think the statement was he was interested in being on the show. I mean, that's like me saying I'm interested in being on the show. I get that he's The Rock, but I mean, if he doesn't fit in, I mean, ultimately, like if he does get a role, he's not going to get a starring role. He's just going to get he's going to probably be somebody in one of the space stations or something that they pull up on, and he's the bully that comes up and is like, hey man, you're sitting in my seat type shit. You know what I mean? Like,
did you really just compare yourself to Dwayne Johnson, did you really say
No,
him asking to be on Mandalorian is just
No,
like you
no.
saying that you want to be on Mandalorian? Did
Nah,
that
that's-
really just come out your
it's
mouth?
like what I'm saying is the interest with the fact that he's interested. Like that's like if I was doing an interview with you and I said, hey, you know, hey, if you had a chance, how would you feel about being on the Mandalorian? Yeah, hell, I'd be interested. I mean,
no, bro,
you
no,
know,
it's
so
not
I
like
don't
me and
know.
you at all, nigga. Nigga, if The Rock says The Rock is the most look, read what the article says. Look,
Listen,
the shit
I'm not saying
right
it's not. I'm just saying that I don't see it being one of those things, man. Like you know what I mean, like where he's taking over and
look, bro, The Rock is literally one of the most.
Tiki makes a good point. Tiki makes a good point. She said Samuel L. Jackson didn't take over, and he's Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson. You know what I mean? So like, she has a very valid point there. Like he could just be one of like the extras, like in the back. You know how they have like when we first met Bill Burr in the show, he was in the background. You see what I'm saying? And then they brought his character to light. You know what I'm saying? Like they used his character as more. Like, you know,
yeah, The Rock is way more. The Rock is way more polarizing than Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes,
like he's his. First of all, you're talking about a 6 foot something, 200 and something pound beast of a man. Like he when he comes on screen, he takes over the screen.
Yeah, his presence
just takes over. So Samuel L. Jackson takes over when he gets loud. If you keep him quiet, if you keep the nigga quiet, then it's just what it is.
Hey, hold on.
I get these motherfucking stakes off this motherfucking plane. I see it.
Hey, yo, hold on, bro. Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson had a very integral role in even establishing
what we the bum. You talking about as a bum in that movie?
No,
you talking about
Daddy's head fell out the helmet.
Yo, bro, did you check how Sam was running? Did you check how Sam was running over there? Like he looked like he was waddling. I was like, he was like this. I'm wondering how many times they ran that same scene. You know what I mean? Like,
you said Sam.
Like, yo, I just looked at that. He was like this. Like I'm like,
hold on, man. Nah, man. I'm like, in the words of Stephen A. Smith, let's go to the tape.
What was that?
Yo, come on, man. Tiki, I mean, excuse me. Tiki, I don't know if you back yet. If you are, going Cam. But y'all hear this dude disrespecting the Mace Windu. I think Mace Windu would make the best origin story if they ever decided to go Star Wars Origins. I would love to see a young Pulp Fiction, Jerry curled out Mace Windu.
Well, who's gonna do it?
Why go young? Just go with Lawrence Fishburne. So this time he can come with like a walker and get up there and like, you know what I mean, with the stuff. I mean, like, come on.
Funny you bring that up because technically we don't know if Mace Windu died. Like we don't know for a fact if he died. He was tossed off the building after Darth Vader.
He was thrown out the window. You're right.
But they could have grabbed onto a ship or something like that.
And they could use
if he gets thrown out a window in like space.
No, he was on a planet. It wasn't
a planet. Regardless, if there's still going to be a falling situation.
But he's a Jedi. He's a Jedi, bro. You see Jedi. Look at Luke, bro. Luke just freaking transported his hologram self from one planet to another. Freaking Rey and Kylo were you. It was one adapt. You know what I'm saying? And they were just like passing each other little things or whatever. And Obi-Wan jumped from the planet all the way up to this starship. If you recall, when he was fighting against Darth Maul in the Phantom Menace. So don't give me this. Oh, he gets thrown up. It's the Force, bro. He's freaking one of the main. He's in the Jedi Council, sitting right at the head of Yoda. So getting thrown out a window is shit. That don't mean nothing for a Jedi.
Yeah.
Darth Maul survived getting cut in half.
Yeah, and Boba Fett survived the monster.
That monster, yeah.
We've seen Jedi. We've seen Jedi teleport people. We've seen them choke people. We've seen them. So now all of a sudden, you don't think that that there's a possibility that maybe they can levitate, do like that?
If this is the thing, Mace Windu is a true Negro because he stayed low key after taking the L. He was like, I took a mean L. I'm gonna stay in the back. I don't want none of the problems. So he's a Negro. He's a Negro.
Yo.
Yeah, well, I wanted to do something real quick, guys, before we start. So let me go. Let's go around real quick and let me get everybody's opinions if it's okay. And y'all just let me know true or false. Let me know how you feel about this. Give me a yay or a nay, and we'll go screen to screen. Oh shoot, that's the next one. Sorry. Let's go here. All right, so let's start with Yas. So The Rock, dope or nope? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I give it a thumbs down. No offense to The Rock or, Dwayne at all, but I can't see him on Mandalorian, man. Like, no lie, when like Bill Burr showed up, I was hella excited. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like those characters that like make something and break something. He's gonna break that shit. So let's not do that.
Okay, Ty Leem, The Mandalorian, does it deserve The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, or should The Rock stay in his lane?
Dope. And I say it's dope for the simple fact that he will bring a different demographic to watching the show, which brings up more reviews, brings up more ratings. And also because everybody that I've seen thus far on the Mandalorian cast has killed it. Everybody. Every single person that I've seen that has worked on this cast has killed it. So I don't see why The Rock wouldn't do the same.
From one tie to another, Tyrone, dope or nope? Should Dwayne The Rock Johnson join the cast of The Mandalorian?
I got to go with dope on that one. If you had asked me about Bill Burr last year and said, you think he should be in season 2 of The Mandalorian? I would have been like, Bill Burr, why? But then he shows up and he kills it. So, at this point, they can do whatever they want. Once they gave me Luke Skywalker, I'm like, you give me whatever you want. Go ahead and give me a Jar Jar show. I'll take it.
Yeah, we need your Jar Jar is going to get his own show. Y'all can sit here and fuck with me all you want. It's going to happen. Just let it happen. Just sit back. Shh. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Hey, so you next, Lauren. Mandalorian, should it have The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, dope or nope, my friend?
Finally, I will say hell no. I don't need The Rock in it. I don't need The Rock in it. Because if, like you said before, if you put The Rock in it, it's not going to be like a Baby Yoda moment, but that guest role will become possibly a multiple time role to where people are like, oh, I'm not going to watch it again if The Rock's not coming in. Or I'm not going to watch it again. Like, certain things like that. So I feel like he is going to dominate that certain situation where people of a certain demographic coming in, it will help out The Mandalorian. It doesn't really need that much help, though. It's already really big popularity-wise. So adding The Rock to it, what does it benefit? What does it benefit ratings-wise? Because it's already a popular show. What does it benefit?
It's not as popular as we want it to be.
Yeah, that's true.
I get that, but
it's not because my mom don't know about The Mandalorian, but I bet you put The Rock on there, she will.
But does your mom know about Baby Yoda, though? Does your mom know about Baby Yoda?
Yes.
Okay, then she knows The Mandalorian.
But she knows about the Baby Yoda because I just showed it to her on Christmas. That's what I'm saying. Like stuff like what I'm saying is the people like us, we know about these shows, but the mainstream people, they don't be knowing about these shows. They don't watch The Mandalorian. They don't know. All they see is Star Wars, and they be like, I don't watch that stuff. But you put a person like The Rock, who is loved by every household in America and around the world, you put him on anything, people watch. They're just gonna watch.
This is true. This is true because he is a household name. I think it's because maybe I'm looking from the outside. I'm looking from the outside looking in, like knowing the viral sensation that Baby Yoda was, and how so many people were like, "Oh, Baby Yoda looks so cute. Let me go tune into Mandalorian and see what this is all about." So, I mean, if you want to create another thing like that with The Rock to keep the show's hype and momentum, I could see that. But I guess I just didn't see it because I thought it was already a popular show.
Well, see that Baby Yoda concept. Like parents, women will go buy a Baby Yoda for their kid because their kid asked for a Baby Yoda without them actually doing the research on it. They'll just go and check it out. They'll say, "Oh, he's cute," and they'll buy it for him. But a Rock brings mom to the table, sit down, prepare her wine, chill out, lean back, and enjoy all that The Rock does, all that The Rock is cooking.
But see, here's where the intersection lies, right? So, and then I'm going to you next, Mati. So be ready. But Ty, here's where the problem is. So, what people love about the Mandalorian now is that it ties so well into Star Wars lore, right? Like, Jon Favreau has done such a perfect job of writing in the script. Everything that we love about we got the AT-ATs, we've got little droids, we've got Luke for crying out loud. R2-D2. I mean, so when you start now having to fabricate characters just for the sake of putting somebody popular on a show that's already developed its popularity based off of its continuation of the lore that brought it its fame, then I think you start to get into the industry watering down the brand type thing, right? Like now it doesn't feel like. I mean, look at what happened with Fast and Furious. The moment they put The Rock in on Fast and Furious, next thing you know, you got this Tango and Cash show, whatever what was the name of the show with him and Old Boy or whatever. Now it's a whole spinoff based off of a character that never was in the original script at all. And I fear those of us that hold Star Wars like it is Baby Yoda, you have no idea how much this series means to us. You know what I'm saying? Like we're like, yo, we cannot have even the possibility of it. Now, here's what I will say, and I'll open it up for everybody on this one. I would definitely say this. What we do have confidence in is the writing of our Jon Favreau. And if anybody can make this happen, it is more than likely Jon Favreau. Let's just keep it real. He has managed to keep this storyline relevant, to keep it funny, to keep it from going too far outside of the storyline. He's done a phenomenal job at not losing all of us in this whole scheme. But I still haven't gotten Mati's opinion. Mati, your opinion, The Mandalorian, does it deserve Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, on its cast of characters?
I'm not offended about that because I loved him in Jumanji. He killed it on that, and he didn't do his I didn't see the whole Rock part of it, of the wrestling. But I'm trying to think, what character can he play at his size? Because in reality, other than being a Rancor, a Wookiee, some crazy beast like that, not Jabba. That don't even go there. But I'm just saying, for his size and his personality, who can he, what can he play? I want to see them put the female Wookiee, the white Wookiee, play her into something. I'm dying to see her come into character too. But there's a white female Wookiee. She's like the bomb. Why we gotta do that?
Rock as the female Wookiee.
Tiki, you hear this? There's a white Wookiee, Tiki. Yo, the moment we get any kind of characters, all of a sudden, now they trying to.
But yeah,
white Wookiee, are you nuts? That's free. You sure you're not talking about the one with the abominable? I think it's called Abominable.
No, she's a Wookiee. She's a female Wookiee, boobs and all, and you can, you see her form, and she's so adorable, and she's like, she's a friend, or I don't think she's related to Chewie, but they're in the same unit per se. That they haven't.
Yeah, because there's only one female Wookiee, so she's the
She's populating all the others.
Yeah, she's the what's the name? The Smurfette. of the
So hold up. Let me get this straight. Are we still talking about The Rock?
Yeah.
So you want The Rock to play? Hold up. So you want The Rock to play a white prostitute female Wookiee?
No, he's 3 or 65. And I'm trying to picture what character can he play, because you can't.
I think the only characters that he could probably ever play would either be like I'm saying, like a Death Trooper. You know what I'm saying? Like a bodyguard of like Moff Gideon. You know what I'm saying? Like that's if they're gonna put him in there, he's gonna be his bodyguard, if anything.
Those guys are too skinny. The Rock, there's nothing skinny about The Rock.
But
his ankles.
Luke just cut their asses down with the lightsaber, so obviously we know they're not indestructible. So we want something that can actually like fight against the Jedi and not just gonna he chopped their asses down like it was like Play-Doh. You know what I'm saying? So that was the problem. So Moff Gideon obviously sees the defect in his idea. So I think that he'll come back as like one of the Plasma, like he'll be like one of her kind of ranks, you know what I'm saying? Like because that bitch is big, okay? So
yeah, she's on Game of Thrones,
right? But that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like that'll be the only kind of like thing that they can really do. You know what I'm saying? Because like that woman was so big, they made her a badass character with that. You know what I'm saying? But she was only in for a little bit, and then they killed her.
I think that's my preference. If The Rock is going to play an integral role in here, it should not be a significant one. All right. Yeah. He should have a cameo.
Right.
He should be a significant cameo. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't have to be, it can be like, maybe he's the White Wookiee's pops or father-in-law, you know what I'm saying, who escaped the worlds of Andor before it was blown up. Who knows? But I just don't want a Mandalorian season that is centered around. Don't get me wrong. I see what they did with Bill Burr. All right, but Bill Burr is not The Rock. All right, he does not suck the oxygen out of his.
Yeah,
he was in Breaking Bad, and it wasn't that big of a deal. We was like, oh, okay, that was cool. But The Rock, once he brings that crowd that Ty was talking about, it's over for Pedro Pascal. It's over for Baby Yoda. It's over for Moff Gideon.
That's not what we want to see. You're right about that. Like, Ty, I completely agree with you. That's not what we want to see. Like, it's the Mandalorian. We don't want to see The Rock on there taking over and doing his thing. So, like, I completely agree. That's why I said nope, was because, like, I don't want to see him taking over that show. Like, I love that show. And, like, the little side characters that they throw in and just give us, like, little hints and details about, that's, like, the best. And you're right. Like, I feel like I agree with Ty. He'll, like, kind of take that over a little bit, so...
Well, they can do that. They did that with John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo was in episode 1 of season 2, and like barely anybody even knew it.
That's true.
That's true. But they could do it like that.
That's true.
Because he was the Cyclops guy that Mandalorian went to go and look for other Mandalorians.
Right.
And when they went to that fight, that was John Leguizamo, and
that was John Leguizamo.
Little known fact: one Mark Hamill actually was in season 1. But he was not in a significant role. He played the guy, if you recall, when the Mandalorian had to, he was sitting there fighting from the blasters. He played that blast. I almost said Master Blaster. That was sitting there.
Oh,
my man.
Grandbaby.
I'm gonna take you to church, grandbaby.
Last week too, yo, and we always catch him with his mouth just like that. We always catch him.
He paused for dramatic effect, apparently.
Tiki, do you? I don't know if she's there or not. All right, well, anyway,
wow.
All right, so let me just get this straight. All right, so there she is. We woke her up. Hey, Tiki, welcome back. Tiki was sitting there getting a massage. Like, if these niggas don't let me go, Tiki, the Mandalorian, does it deserve Dwayne The Rock Johnson on the cast? Will it mash it up? Is it dope, or do you say nope?
Okay, so did you see my comment first in the little private chat?
I didn't. Oh,
Please read that first.
Oh yeah, I see it.
You know what? Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and exit.
I do have an opinion though. So I would say yes, and let me tell you why. Because I am a Rock fan. I like the Rock. I like to smell what he is cooking. So if you would want someone like me to watch The Mandalorian to give it more, I guess, noteworthy. Not that it needs anymore, but I'm just saying it could bring people like me to watch it. However, I do not like Star Wars. I hope I can still come to the cookout.
Oh, whoa, her connection. I don't know what just happened. Not sure what happened there, but we just lost Tiki. Nah, just kidding. Tiki,
you don't like Star Wars? Look at my shirt, Tiki.
Listen, my whole house is Star Wars fans.
Look, Mando. Straight Mando.
I mean, I'm with it. I like to watch people that like it. I like to see them.
Yo, come on. Yo, listen, your homework
God.
is to get you a lightsaber, all right? Because you definitely you're losing content
baby,
now.
Everything.
Nah, yeah. Well, listen, you know what? I was gonna lie. I was gonna say we respect you, but we don't. Frankly,
hey, I didn't respect y'all earlier, so it's the feeling is.
I'm just playing. Well, it's okay because we want other opinions, and it's okay to hear about folks that evidently, I guess, there's a world where people don't like Star Wars. I saw that, Mom. I saw that.
But that's the people I was speaking to, Vinny.
Are we gonna? Do you want to see if your Schwartz is as big as mine, Mom? Is that what we're doing here? Is that?
My God.
Guys, it's been a blast with you guys today. I gotta head out. I got another thing I gotta do at 12 o'clock.
All right,
so I'm gonna have to see you guys in a little bit. Okay.
You got your we'll hit you up for next week. We need your opinion on some video games that just came out, especially one of the ones that's really out there right now.
Cool.
Which is I can't remember the name of it because I smoked too much. Anyway, all right, we'll talk to you in a little bit. All right, hey, check it out. So, guys, I wanted to close out with this. Well, not close out, but the very last thing. This has gone phenomenally. I know it's gone a little long, but we're still kind of fine tuning the way that we do this. But just to kind of clear it up, it looks like most of us are okay with The Rock being on, even if it is in a limited, format. I think that we're okay with it. But while we're in the Star Wars realm, I did want to finish up a subject that we went on to last week that we wasn't able to finish. Yas, your fiance was delightful enough to inform us that we did indeed have confirmation via the comic books that General Palpatine is actually the father of Anakin Skywalker, which really mashed my head up, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm really trying to come to grips with what that means. Now, Tiki, I'll go ahead and let you go back to sleep, boo boo. Tiki, I don't shoot. So we'll go ahead and we'll chime back in with you in a little bit, babe. But the significance of this is pretty big, because this throws a whole loop in the Star Wars family tree. I always thought I knew exactly what was going on, but now I'm completely lost. But there's some questions and some holes in this plot. So I was hoping you could either help me understand, Yas, because you and maybe Yas is maybe Mati. I don't know if you're in on this or not, Tyrone. But could you kind of give me an idea of what exactly that means? Like, how do we grapple with I mean, does that mean that Anakin is Rey's great? I mean, like what? I mean, explain.
All right. So if we were to look at the timeline, if Palpatine is Anakin Skywalker's dad, which turns into Darth Vader. If you think about it, as far back as you can remember in the original movies, Palpatine always had this strong influence on Anakin. And we always wondered why. Like, why Anakin? Why Palpatine? You know what I'm saying? Like, and he could hear him, and we always wondered why. Well, if you think about it, like, the Force is strong with those that are connected with, like with blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big thing. So if Palpatine is Luke Skywalker's dad, Anakin's dad, and Anakin is the child of Palpatine, then that means Rey and him somehow are connected. They're cousins, obviously.
Oh, okay.
were Palpatine's children.
All right, so here's
her mom. I think her mom was.
Okay.
My bad. I had a computer fart. All right, my fault. But still, here's what I want you to help me do, if you don't mind. All right, so we have here.
You got the chart. I'm so proud of you. Oh my God, you're the best. You're the fucking best.
I was gonna use the lifesaver for this, but it's too clear, as you can see, and it doesn't get dark enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and resort back to Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles katana blade.
Hey, I got the Ninja Turtles right behind me. You see them? Look.
Uh-oh. Let me see. Where's Yas? Let me see what she's got.
Look. Oh.
Okay. All right. All right. So here's what I'm trying to figure out. Now, help me out with this, guys. Y'all should still be able to hear me. Bim. So here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we've got his name is Sheev Palpatine. That's actually his name. I Googled it, and that's what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and put Palpatine up. Can we see this here? Am I freezing up too much?
Yeah, I mean,
it's working. It's working. Go ahead.
It's working. Okay. All right. So BM. So we
Don't
got
you want to
Palpatine
start from the bottom?
Okay. Well, I tell you what. Here's where it gets weird. Oh man, my shit's up, y'all. It can't done.
Yeah.
Give me this. That is. All right. It's gonna look a little weird, but I'm gonna take myself out. If this don't work, then we'll just do it next week. BM, and so forth. And so I should be on a different. You should be able to see a little better, right? Okay, perfect.
This is some WandaVision stuff right here. I don't know what I'm seeing.
Some futuristic shit.
Can you hear me? All right, cool. Yeah. So let me do that again. So here I am, right? We've got Palpatine right here. Okay, BM. All right, now
Palpatine.
You can't see it?
There you go. Tape it.
All right, here we go. BM. Let's do it like this. We got Palpatine up here, so where we can see Palpatine. You know what? This might be something we might have to do next week.
You got a fan on or something, bro?
Yeah, I didn't. I think I need duct tape, not scotch tape.
Turn the fan off.
Yeah, right, oh yeah, I do got the fan on. I can do that. That's a good idea.
I mean,
all right, you know what?
Yeah, bro.
Maybe I didn't think this through. Here's what I was thinking. All right, we got Palpatine, right?
Yeah. On the bottom.
Palpatine and Shmi. That means that Palpatine had to fuck with Shmi, right? Yep. So Shmi is actually the father. I mean, the mother of Anakin, right? Yep. But Shmi, but Palpatine is also Rey Skywalker, Rey, whatever you want to call her, granddaughter. So that means that Palpatine had at least 2 baby mamas, right? So we currently have no idea who Rey's mother and father are, or grandparents, at least the grandmother. So this leaves us with a crack in the armor when it comes to the family tree, because we don't know who thanks to these stupid ass last 2 movies. I'm sorry, freaking Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker, 2 movies that completely made no sense. Unfortunately, great visual effects, great to see Luke again, great to see BB-8, but what the hell? I'm trying to figure out who are these 3 people that we don't know. What's up? I see you, Mati. What? You got some answers?
You just said right now, Palpatine and Anakin's mom smashed, right? And then they got Anakin. So Palpatine then had a side chick, and then obviously must have had Anakin or Darth Vader's brother or sister, because remember he mentions when they were in the game room or the throne room that the parent or the child that they had disappointed them, but they were trying to protect Rey. So it had to be the son, I think, which is Rey's dad, and then that's how Palpatine is the grandfather. So that means Anakin Skywalker has a brother out there that we don't know yet.
Oh,
if you're gonna put it, if you're going to that perspective, because if what he said, he literally said it. Your father, your parents were trying to protect you from me, and it was the father, Rey's father, that was supposed to have brought the child to Palpatine so that they can get the order done.
Yo.
So
yeah, she's right. She's right.
So
I my own family tree.
No, look at that. Okay, hold that up to the screen. Hold up to the screen, man. Okay, so wow, look at that. That's exactly what I was trying to do and failed miserably. Okay, so Palpatine, Anakin's mom, and Anakin. Wait. Okay, Anakin and Leia. So you got Leia there, but I think you mean Padme.
I meant what's her name? Padme.
Yeah, Padme. Okay. So Anakin and Padme end up, collaborating, so to speak. And then they ended up making the two kids. And then there's Oh, she knows about Jason. Okay, so you read the books. You're into the canon. Okay, good lord. So yeah, there's Jason Solo, all right, who's actually originally in the books, what they are now calling Ben Solo. Jason was originally
Anakin is the Ben in the series.
In the canon? Okay.
In the book, it was Jason, Jada, the twins, and then there was a third baby, which was Anakin. That Anakin baby is Ben in the movies.
Whoa. Tyrone, you look lost.
I feel lost. This is a whole new level of like Lannister type stuff that I was not ready for in the Star Wars universe.
Lannister, that was so great. Oh my god.
Han Solo and Leia married, and they had a set of twins in the books. I read the books a while back. Then they had a third child, and that was baby Anakin, who the Force was stronger in them than it was in Jason and Jada. So that's the child that they sent over to Luke to be taught. In the movies, they renamed him as Ben. But there was 3 kids, and they don't speak about the other 2 kids. Luke hooked up with Myra, who was another Jedi who he wasn't supposed to. So that's where I thought Rey came from.
Yeah, I recall reading a book, and I'm sorry I'm freezing up, guys, but I'll clear up in a second. But I recall reading some of the canon and learning about Jason, and I remember reading about the twins, and I remember them being real powerful. Didn't even have lightsabers. And it was a pretty remarkable deal. I see I'm freezing up here a little bit, but I'm trying to figure out, like, if we're going to see in episode 10, 11, and 12, if this is where they're going. You know what I'm saying? Are we going to see them expound on the history of Rey, and give us more information about Rey's lineage that ties her directly to the Skywalkers, which is why it makes more sense to call it the Rise of the Skywalker, as opposed to what others are saying, which is that she's not actually a Skywalker. This actually makes a little bit more sense to me. I don't know if that makes sense.
I see what you're saying. I also just want to give you, like, I'm in awe of Mati's knowledge of Star Wars. I just want to, just bow to you and say the Force is strong with you, and just appreciate that for a moment. Yeah, that's some real knowledge, and I appreciate you educating me today.
They're different. They're different, man. They different. Like, yo, they different, man.
And I think I don't know if here's what I hope that they do with Star Wars. I hope that they kind of move on from these characters that have been established. I hope that they move on from Rey and Finn and everybody who's in this most recent saga. And like with what they've established in The Mandalorian, with Grogu, now he's going to be trained by Luke. You could take like a 400, 500-year-old Grogu and introduce an entirely new set of characters that are completely unrelated to anybody we've ever seen. And still have that Skywalker lineage in the teachings that he got to pass on through Grogu. If Grogu survives that long, and if he ends up becoming a Jedi Master, we could get a Jedi Master Grogu leading a new group of Jedis.
We'll beat you. You must not have tuned in last week because Yas informed us that not only will we more than likely see a very experienced Grogu, but how dope would it be if that Grogu was evil Grogu?
Sign me up right now. Yeah,
really 2 red lightsabers that were the size of chopsticks. You know what I'm saying? Like cutting through everybody in the Clone Wars.
What up,
So
man?
Tyrone, to speak on back what Vince is talking about, last week when we were all discussing this, if you can remember, in the Mandalorian show, they were Moff Gideon, his biggest thing was to get the blood from the baby, right?
Yep.
But we all were like, why does he need the blood? If you think about it, and you like, if you know Star Wars, you know what I'm saying, and you look back, Snook is a clone from something. And they needed, like, if you think about it, like they had little Snooks like everywhere. They just didn't have the blood to make him. And if you really look at Snook, he was kind of deformed as it was anyway. He wasn't a full like being. You know what I'm saying? Like he was. You can definitely tell that he was not constructed like properly at all because of how he was, and the fact that he just died like a bitch too. So that just, you know, all those things fall into it. So I was explaining to everybody that like they took Grogu's blood to make Snook. So no matter what, like Grogu has this like this connection with the dark side of the Force, whether it be with Moff Gideon, who had him for a little while, or it be with Snook, who is the evil version of himself.
Yo, she blew our minds with that last week. She's blowing my mind with it again. And frankly, this whole broadcast has blown my mind, guys.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be an hour or so. We are going on 3 hours now. All right. And y'all haven't gone to the bathroom, tied and rolled up 3 blunts. Mati done put together 4 Millennium Falcons. And and Yas has been providing that info. Guys, I think we're going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. Before, as always, this week, one thing that we're going to start hopefully doing in this segment is I would like to expound on you guys' personal watching habits. So if you all could, before you all go, before everybody has a chance to kind of get back to their new year, hallelujah. Thank God 2020 is gone and the Death Star did not explode. I just want to get your personal recommendations for things that y'all may be watching, things that you may have peeped, things that you think ain't nobody else really messing with right now. I will go around the horn, and Tiki, I don't know if you're still there, but go ahead and get on cam because I want to get you in on this as well. But I'll start. I want to start and recommend a show that I recently watched that I thought was pretty phenomenal in the writing, and that's a show called Counterpart. I don't know if anybody here has seen Counterpart. It is on Amazon Prime. It originally aired, I think, in 2018 and 2019, but the show is a spy show with science fiction. The science fiction premise of multiple universes, but it does it in a smart, more a way that is palatable for those that are not into geeky, nerdy stuff like us. And it stars some people. You know, the old boy that plays J.K. Simmons is one of the stars, which is one of the reasons why we think it may not have been as successful. We know him as J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man universe. And he also was in Oz and a couple other things. But I recommend this show for anybody who has a fascination with alternate universes, anybody who likes a good old-fashioned 007 type of show that doesn't have all of the nuance, you know, the star, you know, the songs and all of the girls. It's just really down home, good TV, and we're hoping that it gets remade because they ended on a weird note and it hasn't been picked up again. So we're kind of waiting. Now I'm gonna go to Ty next. Ty Briks, any recommendations, fam? Anything that you would recommend that folks watch that you have personally been paying attention to as of late? And then Yas, you next.
Oh man, as of late. Nah, not really, but I do see some stuff that's dropping. Sabrina, which believe it or not, is actually a decent little show that comes on Netflix. If you're into the supernatural stuff. Also, Transformers, our old school cartoon is like coming out. It has Netflix. It's called Transformers Earthrise. And it's like, you know, the backstory of Cybertron and stuff like that for all the Transformers heads out there that want to catch some old school animation. But outside of that, there's some shows that's coming out, but I don't have them off the top of my head.
All right. No worries. That's enough. Cool. Yas, and then we'll go ahead and go to Tyrone, and then we'll talk to Mati after that. Yas, what's going on in your world? Whose shows are you watching? What can you put us on to? Give me some recommendations, Yas.
All right, so this is probably not for the guys, but for some of the ladies, I'm like really into like the early 1900s, with the stories, the outfits. So a really good one I just got done watching is called Bridgerton. It sets you back into like the 1900s, and it's actually like it's really refreshing because it actually has a lot of songs that recently came out in the last few years, but it's just like the instruments. It's not any of the vocals. So like an example of one of the songs that I was listening to when I was like watching it was how they have those big ballroom dances where everyone's like it's choreographed and everything. Well, that song "Thank You Next," the music, how like pretty the melody is from that song. The music was one of the songs that they were dancing to, and it's kind of cool. It's like a newer look on how like that culture was.
Now,
But
this is the show that Shonda Rhimes is. This is Shonda Rhimes' show, right? Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it was incredible. Like I'm so in love with like the story was great. And it wasn't boring at all. It was very intriguing. It kept me on my toes the whole time. And like it's a love story between a black duke and a white viscount's daughter. And how, in a perfect world and society, and how everyone gossips via, newspaper and, their ladies' maids. It's really refreshing on how like, it's a look into how life was and how society is definitely just has changed for the better. Like it's kind of cool. I'm into the whole history thing. But another really awesome show that I cannot wait to come back out. It's a little raunchy, but it's right in my alley. Disenchantment is finally coming out with its third part, and I cannot wait. That show is hilarious. It's got a lot of quirky, funny, and little raunchy humor to it. So I kind of love it because it's very magic and make believe. It can be anything and everything. Like the girl's best friend is an elf and a cat that was he's a demon, but everyone thinks he's a cat. So okay. It's really funny. Like you have to check it out. Like I don't think the kids would kind of like pick up on the stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you were to watch it around them, like of the adult things that are in that, but it's so funny that kids can watch it and actually enjoy it. But like adults, it's more of an adult cartoon though. It's actually hilarious. So yeah.
Audio on you, Vince. But I'm guessing it's my turn to talk about what shows that I think you guys should watch. So one of my absolute favorite shows that's in its 5th season right now, and I cannot recommend the show enough. It's called The Expanse. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
It's one of the best sci-fi shows I've ever seen in my life. Yes. It's amazing. The writing is crazy. All the acting is crazy. There's great representation. It's like the political, the socio, economic stuff. It's all just absolutely crazy, awesome sci-fi. Watch The Expanse on Amazon Prime. And if you're looking for a laugh, the Animaniacs are back on Hulu. So jump on that. I mean, you can't get much better than the Animaniacs. So those are my recommendations.
Yeah, you look like you would be on the belt. You one of these belters out there.
Yeah, beltalora, yeah.
Yeah, you gonna learn today too.
Oh yeah, but not yet.
All right. Thanks, Ty. I didn't know Animaniacs was back. That's a big deal too. All right, moving along to Mati, and then we'll go ahead and get Tiki on here as she relaxes so comfortably. Mati, what you recommend for the folks out there? What you watching that you could put us on to?
On Amazon Prime, the one that really caught me was The Man in the High Castle. It was great because it was like a multiverse sci-fi. Like the first episode, I was like, what am I watching? And then I was trying to figure it out because I like historical and periodical type shows. And then my all-time favorite, I mean, I've watched it already a couple of times, and it's just, I always catch something new. Outlander. It's got the historic part to it. It also has a love story. It has time travel. It's got action. It's got all sorts of everything for everybody in it. And that was on Stars. So those were the two that I found, and of course, because I love the main star in Outlander. But the characters themselves, I've read the books, and they're like this thick each. They were just, the writing was really good, and they kept to the books as best as they could. So very great acting, like it was too real. And those were my two that I would recommend for binging.
All right. Thank you very much. The Man in High Castle or A High Man in a Castle. We either one will take it. That's me. I'd be that. Anyway, let me stop. Hey, yo, Tiki. Do you love me? And you right? Damn, you look so comfortable, man. What villa is you laid up in, man? Let me get a piece of that futon. Anyway,
oh, okay. So
what you recommend for everybody, Tiki?
Okay, so I like the show on HBO Max called The Wolves. That was good. It has some religious components to it, and I like dystopian, so it's kind of dystopian and religious. I also liked His Dark Material on HBO Max as well. It has also some religious background to it, and I like that. Lovecraft Country, I'm sure everybody has watched, but that was amazing, and I like that. And then I'm looking forward to on Prime the release of Lord of the Rings, so I'm excited for that series to come out.
Whoa! You mean there's a Lord of the Rings series coming out, or are you talking about the movies?
Series.
There's a Lord of the Rings series
coming out.
What?
Is this news to anybody other than me? Because I didn't know nothing about it.
I haven't heard anything about
this. I didn't know anything about that.
I fell asleep in the movies.
There's a Lord of the Rings series coming out?
Yes.
Can somebody fact check this? Because I don't
confirm this. Hold up. Let me see this. Yo,
man. Go to the tape. Is this real life? Is this based on Frodo? Is this based on Bilbo?
I don't know what it's going to be based on. I just know that they said it's supposed to come out in 2020.
Ty, talk to me, bro. How fast can you Google?
Yo, I'm on it.
Yo, it strikes me as odd that you're looking so forward to the Lord of the Rings series. There are 0 black characters in the Shire. There's no black person in the middle.
No, he is not lying.
Like I live life.
He is not lying.
I was just messing with you, Tiki. Yo, are you serious? Yo, Ty, hold on. Ty, you confirmed? Is this confirmed?
First episode date 2021. Budget $250 million. An upcoming television series is being produced based on the novel The Lord of the Rings by J.R. Tolkien. It was developed by J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay for the streaming service Prime Video and is set in the second age of Middle Earth before the events of the Lord of the Rings novel and films. Yep.
Whoa! Did we just break news?
Amazon Prime. They've already got a cast, bro. They already got a cast.
There's a Lord of the Rings series?
I told you.
They already got a cast.
Are you nuts?
I told you.
Yo!
They got a cast, bro. They got a cast.
How come we didn't know about? I didn't know nothing about this.
Yeah,
yo, I
was walking around with the burden of this knowledge, like Frodo burdened with the ring.
What kind of bird man am I? And I don't even know that Lord of the Rings. You know what? I yield. Yes, you can take over from here. I'm gonna follow my sword, hero style. Now, kids, don't mess with suicide.
That's big news. That's big news.
Yo, that is a big. You know what? Let's save it. Let's not even discuss.
That shit really can be the next Game of Thrones, like that, as far as like a series
Hopefully
goes.
they won't
like,
fuck up the ending like they did with Games of Thrones, though, because that was some bullshit.
It's so much content. It's so much content for them to work with.
I'm literally gonna go back and try and watch it. I just got one of those like HD TVs where you can like see the makeup not blotted on people's faces and shit. I'm gonna go back and see if I can see anything. Because if I can't, I'm gonna be extra fucking pissed that I got a high definition TV and you still can't see anything.
Yeah, you hope you save the receipt. Black Friday is in another 11 months, so it's gonna be a while before we get any more TVs. But the stimulus package is coming. Hey, look, guys, I think we've taken up enough time. We are over the 3-hour mark, which is not what we intended. But hey, if it runs, it runs. We still got so much more that we haven't talked about. We ain't talked about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We ain't talked about who's going to take over for the new Black Panther. They talk about Shuri. We ain't talked about the different Star Wars sequels, not just the spinoffs, but the new movies that are coming out. Like they talk about Rangers and all that other stuff. So there's so much more for us to discuss. We'll be here all day if that was the case. But I just want to thank each and every last one of y'all for participating. Don't go nowhere because we still got a little bit more to say. However, I do want to end the show, as I will on a weekly basis, with one quick shout out to our Blerd of the Week. This week, in these weird times that we're facing, I would like to shout out none other, since we are in a pandemic, and I was just telling y'all about, Counterpart and all of that. One time, whether or not you believe it's a real thing or not, whether or not COVID is the flu, or if it's, if it's the Antichrist, it doesn't matter, because right now, one of the young ladies who is helping to help us with vaccinations and getting some understanding on things, whether you're going to take it or not, or whether or not it's the mark of the beast, is this young lady, Dr. Kismekia Corbett. All right, and we got to go ahead and give her at least some love, because Dr. Kizzy, as they call her, is not one to be played with. She actually is only 34 years old, and she is one of the American viral immunologists. I said it right. At the Vaccine Research Center at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Now, this chick right here is being tapped as basically the black girl version of Dr. Fauci. I'm looking very forward to what it is that she can provide. And if you ever heard her talk, I didn't upload her video just yet, but she is not some, hello, but I come over here from Nigeria to tell you. Now, she like, look, we made us a little vaccine or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And yo, here's what y'all need to know about it. Like, it's nice that, now listen, I'm not going to tell you whether or not to take a vaccine, whether or not it's going to be a microchip in your arm, whether or not it's going to be a way to track you as you go to your side chick's house and have no business being over there at the same time. It don't matter. But I do at least want to give this young lady a Blerd shout out, because whether or not she is going to be instrumental doesn't matter. What is important is that she made her way through school, and she is a positive representation of us as black people. And with that being said, I want you all to go on about in your own perspective universes. And thank you all once again for tuning in. I want to big up to the homie Tiki, my man, Tyrone, the homie. He's gone now, but Lauren was here before. I want to thank you all so much. As always, Mati, we love your contributions, and we definitely love your Legos, so keep that thing going. And for the core cast, my homie, my ace booms, my man Ty Briks in here, and the homie Yas. Could not do this without y'all. Thank y'all so much. As you all know, I am your boy, the real Vince Talor. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. But like I always say, look, no matter what color you are, no matter what size you are, no matter who you are, whatever it is that you do, if the geek is within you, then please do not hesitate to let that geek flag fly. I mean, let that geek flag. I've rehearsed this so much, and I wanted it to, it's supposed to, all right, hold on, I'm going to say this right. No matter who you are, now I'm starting to look like a Minecraft character. Now I'm looking like Max Headroom. You know what, man? Just go to the credits, man. Get this thing.
Fighter 2, I just really hate Zangief only Ken and Ra 2. I find it hard to be Blanca, keep a wee ninja hanging and our uncle album banging. If you negative in energy, then stay out the vicinity of yeah, them niggas over there. Just yeah, now look at what I wear.